Hello. Hello, hello, hello. Shut up, Sonic. Hi, everybody. My foot is very asleep right now. Konbanwa. It is late. You can tell. Look at the lighting right now. It is dark. Hello, hello, hello. My foot is so asleep it hurts. My foot is very asleep. Like, I'm trying. It hurts so bad. Got the mood lighting going. Yeah, I love this. Look at this. Look at this. So, tangent for a split second. I'm going for a certain style in my apartment, and I'm far away. I'm far away from completing that style. I got a little. When I get a little bit of extra money, I can buy another piece of like small furniture, accessories, or whatever, right? And so the look I'm going for is like secret base. If you know what this is, some of you might know, some of you don't know. I'm going for a gadget punk look, right? And they always have like in gadget punk media, they always have like secret bases or hideouts or whatever, right? And so they always have like, I was like looking at like what kind of lighting they have. They always have like fluorescent lights, right? Like the tube lights, right? Obviously, I can't just like put that in an apartment. I mean, maybe I could, but it would take like installing and it would look really bad, right? So I found this light that is like a warm light. It doesn't look warm right now, but it is a warm light. It's a warm light. And it's like a normal light, but it's like a tube, right? It's like a tube, right? So it's like the vibe of a fluorescent light without actually being one. Secret base. Let's find out. Secreto, probably. Decorating my apartment. Apato like a secret base. Apato o himitsu kichi no yo ni kazaru. Maybe? What is the Pikachu holding? Pikachu is holding... You can probably read this. Pikachu is holding the tag that says it's life size. 1-to-1. This is a real Pikachu. That's a real Pikachu right there. Secret base is Himitsu Kichi? Really? Stop sitting on your foot. I really want to, though. Yes, it's a tag. Yeah. I really want to sit on my foot, to be honest. Okay, we have a meeting to get to. So, action. Okay, all right, we're starting. Okay. We are going to pick up where we left off. Oop, you weren't supposed to see that. Don't look at that. Pick up where we left off. Hold on. Turbo Dog in chat supplied us. Turbo Dog is playing FireRed and LeafGreen in Japanese. And Turbo Dog took a screenshot. If you were here for the last meeting, the bombshell we ended on was that I'm gonna move my mic closer because that's a little bit quieter this late at night. We ended on the truth bomb that your rival Green in this case, which way over here? Green in this case learned bonjour from the French staff on the SS Anne, and then that like led to him going on, like studying abroad in Kalos, right? And saying bonjour all the time is like a catchphrase, right? He learned that from the staff on the SS Anne. And so, I got a few comments that were like, is that in the Japanese version? And so Turbo Dog has provided us with proof that bonjour is in the Japanese version. I do not know how to say that in Japanese. Maybe bonjour, maybe? Right? Maybe? Bonjour. Yes. Sorry if I fall asleep suddenly. No, it's daijoubu. I'm gonna read this real quick. Hold on. I got some translating to do. Taco Oh, thank you. Taco no heya. Oshare ni miru. Taco's room looks stylish. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Also, hi everybody. I realize some people are following. I know you're stuck in follower only jail, for like 10 minutes before you can talk. What do you know? Not having a work day was fortuitous for once. Heck yeah, perfect. Okay, so, oops, that's me. So we're getting rid of this. So yes, there is proof. So I think we are correct. I think that is the storyline being told, that that Blue got invited to the party on the boat before us. So we're like losers. Blue got invited to the party. Sorry, Green. Green got invited to the party on the boat. Green had such a good time. His life was changed. He's like, oh man, French people are the best. And then he went off to go live in Kalos for a little bit. I think that's awesome. Okay. Were they assuming that he'd speak it in different dialect or Japanese or something? No, just like an added line. Like sometimes dubs add like jelly donuts. You know what I mean? Like it just sometimes they change what is being said. Okay. All right, so let us go back to this. So this is where we left off. So that's Green obviously saying bonjour, right? Sorry, my controller was not connected. It was still connecting. So here's another thing. This is part of the theory that Green's Raticate has died. Okay, they're like, oh, you beat Green on SSN, and then his Raticate dies, right? It's like, oh, it's your fault or whatever. It's like a fan theory. He's not like upset. Do you know what I mean? Like you beat him. And, well, he says humph, I guess. And then he just talks about cut. He's not like upset or anything. They're very clearly okay with talking about like, or giving you context to like what stuff they want you to learn, like the bonjour thing, right? There's like context you can learn from earlier in the area that like that's why he's using bonjour all of a sudden. There's literally an NPC that says bonjour, right? So you can like assume he got it from that NPC, or at least one of the French NPCs, right? There's no like indication he's upset that his Eradicate died, right? He's like, you should go see him too. Smell ya. He's not like crying. He's not like, you've murdered my Eradicate, right? Anyways, moving on. Our captain is a sword master. He's using cut. Very cool. I mean, it's just people. It's kind of a cool little area, right? Good pixel art. The party's over. You know, they mentioned again that the party's over. The ship will be departing soon. Last time we left off, everyone was restless. You're basically like only catching the boat as it's about to leave. The only reason it's still there is because the captain is sick. Why is it believed that his Eradicate died? It wasn't just swapped out. It's because, fan theories will like take hold, right? Fan theories will take hold and just like be repeated over and over and over again. And like, it's like with conspiracy theories, there isn't like proof against it. I mean, there is. We have found proof against it, which we'll get to. But like, if there's not like anything that says it doesn't happen, and there's like enough holes where you can like plug it in, right? Even if it like doesn't quite add up, if there's enough gaps to like plug it in, it like catches on, right? I've kind of discovered that like I will find some truth, right? Find some truth, or like, a much more plausible explanation. So maybe I don't know if I'm right, but like I'll find a much more plausible explanation for like fan theories, or like equivalent of like what a fan theory would be. And people are much less willing, much less vocally willing, because I think a lot of people who are just like standing by who are like, oh yeah, I believe you, right? But a lot of people are a lot more upset over things that are a lot more believable but boring, and like less willing to believe them than like a more out there fan theory. I mean, it's just like how conspiracy theories work, right? Seeing as Green doesn't have any animosity towards you, and you would be a murderer if it was true, I find it hard to believe that there's people who ironically... Oh, no. There are a lot of people that 100% believe it. I mean, like, I'm sure there's some irony to it. Like, I think the aspect of, like, that it's your fault, I think is you know, I'm sure people are more ironic about that. But like, you know, his Raticate dying. When we get to that part, you can kind of see how someone could like maybe, if they ignored parts, be like, oh, he doesn't have a Pokemon that he used to have, and he's like asking about dead Pokemon, right? You could like maybe see that, but you'd have to ignore a lot of things to like come to that conclusion, which we'll get to. So we help the captain out, right? He gives us cut. I thought this was interesting. So they justified him giving you the HM because he was too sick to teach you. So normally he teaches people, but he's just like, oh man, you know what? Just take the whole thing. I'm not up for it. I just thought that was interesting. A little bit of like, you know, they didn't have to do that kind of justification. They could have just given it to you. And like, I mean, that's what I thought he did for the last, 30 years or whatever. I just assumed he gave it to us. I didn't think there was like a justification for it, right? Choose to not believe it because Raticate is OP in my team with Hyperfang. All right, that's fair enough. So we talked to him. The ship set sail forever. Oh, I liked that how she describes the Versus Seeker. She's like, use it like beep, beep, beep. And trainers around you will notice. I thought that was fun. I think Pokemon can be good or bad, depends on the trainer. There are wicked people who use Pokemon for criminal acts. Team Rocket traffics in rare Pokemon, for example. And so we had a little bit of a discussion on this. This is way more interesting than like, I'm kind of going against what's popular here. This is way more interesting than like Gen 4 when they're like, or like any gen really, where they're like, oh, it's the end of the world. I'm the bad guy. You know, they're like, I'm gonna take over the world. You know what I mean? Like, here's a giant laser. You know, like that's what a lot of future Pokemon game stories are. Team Rocket's cool because like trafficking things is like real and scary. You know what I mean? Like bad. You know, no bueno. You know what I mean? Like, and like, you know, they're not like subtle about it either. I mean, like they're not subtle, right? It's just a couple lines of dialogue. But yeah, they're like just straight up trafficking Pokemon. You know, and like that has like a tinge of like reality to it, right? They also abandoned Pokemon that they consider unpopular or useless, which I thought was interesting. They're pretty grounded and they have sane goals. Yeah. That's a good way to put it. Full of horrid people. This is like a notice they put up. I thought that was really cool. Route 12 may be blocked off by a sleeping Pokemon, and so you have to like go a different way, right? And it's the Vermilion Police like putting it up. They've been like laying seeds about Snorlax this entire time. Like we've heard about Snorlax like maybe 4 times now. I thought that was really interesting and cool. Oh, this NPC says the same thing as the what is it called? Was it Goldenrod? No, that's not right. The Gold Bridge, Nugget Bridge. They say the same things as the trainers in the Nugget Bridge, which were like maybe Team Rocket employees, maybe, or dumb. They're either dumb or Team Rocket employees. Dumb as in like they don't know they're helping out Team Rocket, right? Unaware. But I really wonder why he says this. Like, are we supposed to believe that's like another Team Rocket recruit, just like, or like maybe like a cult member, right? Because I think in a lot of Japanese games, I mean in Japan in general, but there's like actually like still cults and stuff like that, right? You play like Earthbound, and there's a cult in Earthbound, and Mother 2. Why did I save this? Why do you think I saved that? Do you have any guesses, chat? Any guesses? Why did I save this clip? Why do you think I saved this clip? I have no idea. Oh, you're holding your thumb down. Maybe. We got the bike voucher. I thought that was pretty cool. I mean, that's just a typical, if you played the game before, you know about it. It's a folding bike, which I think is cool. Which I get. Like, someone's like, oh, it fits into your backpack. But I'm like, I don't think a folding bike would fit into your backpack. Oh, Chiding? Was I catching Chiding there? Sorry, the Spearow that was going to be Chiding. Oh, I think I took a video of this. I think I tried to take a video of its habitat because we were about to go on a little side quest. I think you're totally right, Kaze. I think you're totally right. So I wanted Chiding. I wanted the Farfetch'd. We didn't know it was called Chiding yet, but I wanted the Farfetch'd. And so I was like, okay, let's go on like a little like self-imposed side quest, right? Go to the bicycle shop. We caught the Spearow, right? So we were completing our little side quest. It busily flits around here and there. Oh, this was interesting. Even if it's frail, it can be a tough foe that uses Mirror Move. It's like almost like implying it's like a signature move of this Pokemon. Interesting. I mean, like, not necessarily that like this is the only Pokemon that can do it, but that it's like a Spearow specific, like that's what they're known for, right? Maybe the bike attached to the outside of the bag for easy access. Yeah, possibly, but that's still like gigantic and lopsided, right? Oh, we're trading for the Farfetch'd. Alyssa sent over Chiding, and we were like debating. We're like, okay, what does Chiding mean? And both us and online, when we looked at forums, decided maybe it's Farfetch'd-ing. Farfetch'd-ing. So, Ch'ding. Maybe. We found out that... So Turbodog's playing in Japanese. Turbodog says... So that I have a Patreon chat. And in the Patreon, I have a little thread of... the patrons are able to like add additional stuff to the lore library, not the lore library, the book club meeting, like images and stuff. And so, you know, there's not like a million patrons or whatever. So you don't always, like, if you're here right now, you can contribute just fine. We won't run out of time, right? But they do get top priority. And Turbodog pointed out that Chiding's name is Jinsuke, who I assume through some Googling is a reference to a maybe famous Japanese swordsman named Hayashizaki Shigenobu, also known as Hayashizaki Jinsuke Minamoto no Shigenobu, who is the founder of what is now called Aido, which is like a sword style. I couldn't find a ton more, but it's like a way you like pull your sword out, from what I remember reading, right? And like if you think of it that way, that makes sense why Chiding would be named after that, right? Chiding's all about like the, you know, whoosh, right? Automatopoeia, it could be like a Chiding, like, psh, right? It could be both. It could be like a Farfetch'd, and Chiding, you know what I mean? It might just be both. I don't think it's Cha-ching. I think it's like Chiding, right? Like swords clashing, and it's Farfetch'd. And someone's like, oh, that's genius. Let's write that down, right? I always thought it was an onomatopoeia for cash register, too. I don't think it's that. Why would it be that? Why would it be that? That's the part you have to like figure out. I'm not saying it's not. I mean, I am saying it's not. But if it is, why would it be that? I don't think there's any reason for it to be that. My guess it's sword clashing plus Farfetch'd, and they're like, oh, genius. Okay, next slide. Oh, teaching them cut. We taught them cut. Vermilion City. Pokemon Gym leader, Lieutenant Surge, the Lightning American. Ooh, America exists. Ooh, America. Oh, here's this guy. We like this guy. Yo, champ in the making. Lieutenant Surge has a nickname. People refer to him as the Lightning American. He's an expert on electric Pokemon. Oh, this is interesting. He calls him Bird Water type. Right, it's like water type's fine, but bird type. That was dropped at some point. They called water Pokemon aquatic type earlier too. Just a lot of interesting things. Curse Theory. Alyssa wanted to sell her Farfetch'd. No. Well, that's what it sounded like. But Swords Clashing makes a lot more sense. It does. I mean, it doesn't. You're not wrong. It does sound like that. It just, there has to be some sort of like, you know what I mean? Like his name's not Blue, right? His name's not Gecko. You know what I mean? Like it's not just a random name. There's like some degree of intention behind it, right? Not that you can't. You could nickname your Pokemon anything. Lieutenant Surge is very cautious. Yeah, he is. Wow, he really does tell you his strategy. So he's like, beware of paralysis too. And he says, Lieutenant Surge is very cautious. Yeah, that is his strategy. We'll get to that in a second. You know, you solve the trash can puzzle. It was a little too easy. I solved it in one go. There's a switch on the trash. I opened the switch and then I opened the door. It took all of 10 seconds. And it's not like I memorized it. You can see the badge above. I think that's really cool. So I spent a lot of time battling him. A lot of time battling him. And I recommend watching the VOD of the battle. He uses evasive moves, paralysis, of course electric moves. He has his volt, whatever, his shockwave or whatever, right? So he's basically making it, and like that's how the guy described it at the beginning. He's like, oh, he's cautious. He paralyzes you and he's cautious, right? That's what he's doing. He's making it so you can't hit him on the turns that you do have a chance to actually hit somebody, right? Because you're spending half your turns paralyzed. So you're like, oh man, can't attack this turn, I'm paralyzed. And then like the turns you get to attack, you're gonna miss like 5 times out of 10, right? Because, which is a 1.5. You're gonna miss half the time of those times because his evasiveness is all the way up, right? A really like, I mean, like, you know, I've employed that strategy, but like that's a strategy I've never known he's had because I've always just plowed through this gym, just like any gym, right? You have your level 50 starter, you know what I mean? I'm curious how old Surge is supposed to be. I think he's just supposed to be like, you know, 30s, 40s, right? Hold on. That one gym trainer saying, "Okay, I'll talk," like he was a prisoner of war. Yes, I was like, oh, that's like a movie line at that point, right? And so I actually lost. I'm like, okay, I just have to do a quick attack, right? I just have to do a quick attack. It's my last move. I just have to do a quick attack, and I think I can win, right? He pulled out a move that he's never used for like, I battled him for like an hour. He never used quick attack until he was guaranteed going to win. And the thing is, like, we both used quick attack, but because he paralyzed me, he was faster than me. He was like a stage faster than me, right? So what I've taken from this is that gym leaders like actually do have strategies. It's just we've always like plowed through them, right? We've never like engaged long enough in the fight to experience what their like plan is, right? Like for instance, I get to Erica later. I'm gonna spoil a little bit. I get to Erica later, and like I was underleveled by like 1, but because I had Charmeleon on my team, I was able to just like, you know, safely get through the battle without spending like my whole team on just the gym leader like I did. I spent my whole team on this gym leader. And so like I can guess what Erica's strategy was. Erica was using like status moves, but I didn't see like the full strategy like I saw with Lieutenant Surge, right? Well, we did when we were dumb kids, at least. No, I just leveled up my starter to like level 70. You know what I mean? Like you just level it up super high and then you just press A and attack and you just win, right? Missy says that her policy is an all-out offense with water Pokemon, but she often uses recover. That's true. That's funny. You're right. Got her. So anyways, I beat him. You were the real deal, kid. You get the thingamajig. Oh, I don't know if this is a thing I mean, I assume it's not because they give you items you don't typically have in this in Gen 1. But Professor Oaks' aides have been like following you this whole time. They're like waiting for you to like give you stuff. This one tells you to go back to Route 2. There are a lot of instances where the game encourages you to backtrack. I thought that was so cool. So like, people talk about how open the game is, right? And like from now on, from this point on, the game is open. Okay? Like it opens up almost to being like vaguely open world, right? But like whenever people say that, they're like, "Oh, you can go this way or go this way." Like when they bring it up in conversation, right? I think my new understanding is that it's not just go this way, go this way. It's like utilize, like, I've always known like you can go back and cut things to get an item you didn't have before. But like this game is encouraging you to like actively participate in like going back and forth. You know what I mean? It's not just like, aha, there was a secret back there. Let me go grab it real quick. It's more like, oh, no, no, no. Like your path weaves in and out, right? Shockwave instead of Thunderbolt was such a ripoff. Why? What's wrong with Shockwave? I thought it was a cool move. Aid is such an uncommon word. Makes me wonder if Assistant was too long. Oh, yeah, maybe. I don't think that's like an impossibility. All right. There's a daycare. Oh, I just became a trainer, but I think I can win. We were debating if trainer is like a title, right? Like a I'm a student, right? As in like if I'm like I mean like you I mean there's some nuance here, but like if I'm learning something on my own, that's not me being a student. Although some nuance, you'd be like, oh, I'm a student of the earth. You know what I mean? Like I'm learning. You can use student in that way, but like right now I'm a language student, right? Like that's like a title of mine. Like it says so on my card, right? I'm a language student. We were kind of debating if trainer was like, oh, you are officially like with the league now. You have a trainer card, right? So like what we've discovered playing this is that anybody can have a Pokemon. There is no like 10-year-old rule like there is in the anime, and Professor Oak is not a part of the Pokemon League, at least not at this point, right? He's just giving you his own Pokemon. He's like his favor of your that he's asking of you is separate from the Pokemon League, okay? In this game, so you can be any age and be a Pokemon trainer. So talking to this person, he's like, I just became a trainer, and I'm wondering if trainer is like again like I'm officially something with the Pokemon League, as opposed to just someone who has Pokemon and is battling. Hey kid, go pick up Flash before you head to Rock Tunnel. You'll really want to. I mean, that's basically what it is. There's a fat Pokemon that comes down from the mountains. I didn't know Snorlax was like a mountain-dwelling Pokemon. I thought that was cool. I mean, that makes a lot of sense because like it's surprising that he's here, blocking the path, right? So like this is like a world building thing that's kind of like blink and you'll miss it. I thought that was so cool. I was like, oh, cool. That you go up in the mountains, you just see Snorlax walking around or something. I mean, obviously they're sleeping, but you get what I mean. It's like a rare occurrence for them to come down from the mountains. That's very folklore troll coded. I agree. I thought that was so cool. This is what I mean by like this game kind of has some priority too. I wouldn't say prioritizes, but like makes a lot of decisions in this game for the sake of like a living world versus like a video game. So like later Pokemon games feel very linear, right? Everyone's talking about Pokemon in like in a Pokemon franchise kind of way. Like, Pokemon are cool. I love Pokeballs. Did you go to the Pokemart? You know what I mean? Like, they're all like that, right? But this one's like, oh man, this habitat is, you know what I mean? Like, they're like, he's coming down from the mountains. This is rare for our town. It feels a lot more like people are aware of their surroundings. If you defeat Snorlax instead of catching it. Oh, I don't want to read that. Because I haven't woken up Snorlax yet. Save that. And I truly mean save that. Save that, and then we'll talk about it. Man who rates nicknames. Whoops, you're fine. I didn't rate it. No big deal. I'm good at, like, stopping myself. Snorlax gets so many references before he shows up. I know. It's so cool. They really, like, build the legend. You know what I mean? It's not a legend, but they build suspense, right? See, here's another Professor Oak's aids. I didn't get the item finder. I'll have to go back and get that. I did not have enough. You look through the binoculars, gives you like a, kind of a map. Pokemon sleep in the road. I finally see the Snorlax. I thought that was so cool. Oh, Drowsy, who we learned is called Suripi. in Japanese, is a descendant of the legendary animal Baku, which is said to eat dreams. So I actually just deleted the image, and I shouldn't have deleted it. But Baku is like a Japanese folklore creature who eats dreams. So like it's a Pokemon that's a descendant of like what you would assume is a real thing in this, or like, you know, even if it's not a real thing, it's like, you know, it's a legend, right? It's like, oh, legends say that this Pokemon came from that. It's kind of like legends say this bird is a descendant of the phoenix. You know what I mean? Like whether it's true or not, that's like what people believe, or like what is, you know, part of its legend, right? But what's interesting is that, like, you know, again, this is like a descendant of a non-Pokemon animal. I mean, it's a legendary animal, but it's a non-Pokemon animal, right? Do any of your games have similar reward systems for filling out your decks? What do you mean? Oh, like items? Arceus, but I'm not sure about other ones. ZA maybe. ZA kind of does. Interesting that Drowsy being a descendant to the Baku is so said so matter-of-factly. Oh, you're right, it is. Well, kind of. I think adding the word legendary like is like not fully committing. You know what I mean? Because I think like legendary in this context, it's not legendary like, oh man, that Baku is so cool. That Baku's legendary, right? They're like talking about like the legend of Baku, right? They're not like, oh, that slam dunk, that legendary Baku. You know what I mean? Like they're not. It's not that kind, right? This guy's like I never won before. The Oji-san. Why do you think they dropped the real world locations after this game? Because it became a franchise. So in Gen, I think Masada has an interview about it. In Gen 3 and 4 is basically when they're like, okay, we're going to build the world of Pokemon. I don't think he says like as a franchise, but that's basically what it is. Like what is Pokemon? It's not just Gen 1 and Gen 2 and like a little bit of Gen 3, like halfway a bit of Gen 3 is like the real world that has Pokemon in it, right? And then Gen 3 and 4 is like when they start like, okay, no, this is a Pokemon world, right? And then they start building the rules around that. Drowsy is awesome because it's one of those instances of them Trojan horsing traditional Japanese culture into it. I mean, I think there's a lot of Japanese culture things in this, like a lot. I mean, not that that's not true of Drowsy, but I think that happens a lot. I think I reset on accident, so I think I took some screenshots over, thinking like I had to retake them for some reason, even though that doesn't make sense. Spread the word, save energy. It's very 90s, feels very 90s to be environmentally conscious. And of course, that's like a big running thing in this. Watch out for wires. Oh, the NPCs in here are the same NPCs that are in the gym. I thought that was cool. Pokemon is life, and to live is to play games, which he's actually saying to gamble. So it's like actually not a healthy thing to say. This guy's clicking his tongue, which is like a equivalent of like a cuss word. I know that because I'll click my tongue here on accident, which is like worse. Like I click my tongue all the time, right? But here it's like has more meaning to it. I've like upset people. I'm like, oh no, I didn't mean that. I'm sorry. Scarlet and Violet do give you items. You need to get the Pokedex to get them. Gotcha. Drowsy. It's also very funny that say that if you're playing Red and Blue on an original Game Boy, that chews through batteries like it's nothing. It doesn't really. I don't remember. It's been so long. Found an escape rope at a random rock. Diglett's cave. Just cool pixel art. Isn't this a surprise? Diglett dug this long tunnel. So you go through. I think I caught a Diglett. So they're like level 19, and that's important to keep in mind, right? Which is about where I'm at. Like my Chiding is a lower level than typical, right? The rest of my Pokemon are a lot more in line with Diglett. Oh, the reason I took this is because the transition is like you're coming out of a cave and you're like your eyes are blinded by the light. I thought that was really cool. You're like, whoa, my eyes are adjusting, right? Anyways, the reason that it's interesting to point out that they're level 19 is you can encounter a level 31 Doug Trio in there. I was like, what? Because like they brought that back in Sword and Shield, like if you go to the wrong area, there's like sometimes like level 50 Pokemon when you're like only like level 25 or whatever. And then in Scarlet and Violet, of course, that exists as well. And of course, in basically anything after Sword and Shield, they brought that back, right? But like, this is not that type of game, right? So seeing a like Doug Trio that's like a whole 10 levels ahead of you is like, what the heck? And to me, that is, again, prioritizing the world feeling like it's alive over like game design, which I think is good game design. But like, your typical, what you would expect game design wise is for everything to be like, paced with the player. But they're like, oh no, there's a rare spawn where a Doug Trio can show up. And it's like way higher level, which makes perfect sense for an evolved Pokemon, right? It's a head honcho, yeah, basically. The Diglett Cave is no joke. Always felt like a trial. Really, I just went through it. Encounter rate is so high for Doug Trio. Encounter rate is so high, or the just Diglets in general. So I just thought that was cool. They like prioritizing the game feeling like it's alive, right? Great game design since its rare spawn doesn't feel intrusive. Exactly. A long time ago, I realized that you can rarely find freakishly powerful Doug Trio in Diglett's Cave. So I figured out that you can use repels to fill the... Oh, yeah. Oh, that's funny. You say that. That's how I was trying to find Onyx later on. I was like, oh, I'll just use a Pokemon that's the same level as the Pokemon that are like typically that you find. And that way, like, because I think there was an NPC that's like, oh, there's beware of the slightly more powerful Onyx. I never encountered one. But I was like, oh, maybe it's the same like rules as Doug Trio, where like every once in a while you can encounter a higher level Onyx. So I was like, okay, repel on, and maybe I could filter out the Onyx, which never happened. But that's so funny you said that, because like, yeah, I came up with that same strategy. You can't even escape from Doug Trio. No kidding. I didn't try. I caught it. Yeah, I caught it with an Ultra Ball. Why is that like that? I don't know. It's pitch black and scary in there. Found the aid. Oh, I wanted to trade for that Mr. Mime. Why did I record this? No idea. Oh, he teaches you Dream Eater. I do have a Drowsy now. Your Pokedex could use a bit more volume. Oh, I went to the back of the Peter City Museum. Secrets of Space and Earth. We have 2 fossils of rare prehistoric Pokemon in the exhibit. Pokemon Journal. Oh, we found out about Brock a little bit. He rarely laughs, but is said to be unable to stop if he starts. So it's, like, fleshing out the character a little bit. They talk about Amber basically being a reference to Jurassic Park, right? Of course. And this is what, by the way, we have a thing, again, I'm going to plug this a few times because this is the perfect place to plug it. I have a patron-only Discord where we meet every week. And basically I'm working on whatever video project I'm working on. And so I need to research things that aren't games. And so every week, with the exception of this month, because we're doing this book club, right? Every week we get together and watch things and do like research on it. And be like, oh, okay, this is how it applies to all the things I'm working on. It's basically just like taking notes and like culturally enriching ourselves to better understand like where things come from, like what inspires what, right? So this is a really obvious example. There's less obvious examples in a lot of them, but here's a really obvious example that we like all have probably seen. There are a lot of like storytelling shorthand bits that if you've watched such and such movie or watched such and such show or read such and such book, right, you can fill in the gaps of like what's going on. So even if you didn't talk to that aide right now, or sorry, to the employee right now, you can gather like, oh, it's a Mosquito and Amber, like they're just doing a Jurassic Park, and then like that fills in the lore for you by watching a movie that's seemingly like, not connected to Pokemon, but it totally is, right? And so if you enjoy this this book club, I recommend joining our lore library, because it's basically like, oh, we'll watch some 1960s Japanese sci-fi movie, and it's like, oh wow, suddenly all this stuff makes perfect sense, right? Reminds me of scary strong monsters in other RPGs that have lower encounter rates, but can annihilate you if you're caught lacking. I love that. That stuff's so good. Oh, I love that this scientist, like, no one believes the scientist. He's like, I need you to sneak this out of here and go try out my hypothesis, right? And so he like gives you the amber to take it to a Pokemon lab to resurrect. He's like, just take it away. You know what I mean? I think that's such a fun way to give you an item. Oh, again, another example of, like, we're in the mountain area, which is where Charmander are found, and a trainer has Charmander. You know, like, you can't find one, like, they found one. I thought that was super cool. It makes them feel like they're actual, like, Pokemon that live in the Kanto region, right? Oh, go. Kirby, suddenly. I don't know where that came from. What's this? Oh, why am I taking a weird... Is there music playing? Oh, I know. Another one of those things I'm about to ruin for you. I am a pixel artist, right? And so at last stream, in the very first stream, I showed that they forgot to erase some pixels on Red, on his like big sprite. On the last stream, I showed you that there's a random black pixel in the intro of this game. Here's another one I'm gonna like ruin for you. His sideburn, they colored it differently on his walk cycle. So if you look at it go up and down, it gets darker and lighter. So they miscolored it on one of the frames, which is the standing frame, I assume. And then when he drops down, he gets his sideburn back. So his sideburn's like peeking in and out. So there's 3 pixel art things that you'll never unsee. Actually, I think it was intentional. They aren't sideburns, they're his side flops. No, I see what you're saying. But when you run, which I don't have a video of, they stay the same color the whole time. I was like, oh, maybe it's like some like current pixel art animators will like shift pixels in between frames to make the animation look more natural. So like, if your hand goes up, right? If these are the 2 frames, right, where your hand is going up, they'll shift. So they'll like, before they move the hand up, like certain pixels will like go up first, like colors on your like skin or whatever, or on your shirt or whatever. Certain colors will shift up first, then go through, and then like go up. So then, you know, a 2 motion becomes like a 4 motion. Does that make sense? So it's like bep, 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 right? Does that make sense? So like, you know, does that make sense? I don't know if that makes sense. It makes sense to me. I've seen Metal Slug. Okay. There you go. Perfect. Good. I thought at first that's what they were doing, but then you run and it's just the same color the whole time. You guys didn't see that Kirby stuff. Semi-related, on the culture bit, I watched Drunken Master 2 a while back. It made me realize Rock Lee from Naruto. Oh, there's so many Drunken Master references in like martial arts, anything. Tekken, there's a whole like Jackie Chan character that does drunken martial arts. Yeah. It's like a staple. It's just like, you know, a million fighting games. There's a Bruce Lee. I wouldn't be surprised if Rock Lee, the Lee part of Rock Lee, is Bruce Lee, right? I know this is exactly what you're talking about, but sub-pixel stuff blows my mind. I can't do it. I can't do it. You're talking about like the animations, right? I actually don't know what it's called. I'm a bad pixel artist. I'm a self-taught pixel artist, so there's a lot of like terms that I'm like, I don't know what that means. I just do it, you know. But if you're talking about like the animations where like the colors move before the body moves, I can't do that. Like I get the idea, but like I've never tried. Go, my super bug Pokemon. If you don't like bug Pokemon, you bug me. Oh, I like little areas like this, little pointless areas. Like obviously there's grass up there, right? Obviously there's grass up there, but it's a pointless area, right? Love that. It makes the world feel alive. It doesn't feel like a video game path. Back over here as well. I took a screenshot of this because once you like enter into this area, you have to go down and around and past trainers. So you've committed, and you can't just like go back to the Pokemon Center, and then you have to go all the way around back to like maybe even through the grass. I'm not sure, and then drop down from the top just to like head back to the Pokemon Center. So like, it's not allowing you. I mean, it's not too many trainers, but it's not allowing you to just like battle someone and go back, battle someone, go back, right? I didn't think there was such a thing as a non-self-taught pixel artist. I guess there are courses and tutorials now. Oh yeah, but I meant more like tutorials. Yeah, I guess that's what you just said. Yeah. I guess there is courses as well, but yeah, I meant more like tutorials, right? People are getting their shared lingo from something. You know what I mean? People are like getting their like, their jargon from somewhere. To be clear, a couple years ago, I bought a pixel art tutorial ebook, and because I was like, I can't figure out this like one shape, and I knew it was in the ebook, and I was like, okay, I'll do that. So I've like learned from other pixel artists, but as far as like the bulk of like what I know, it's just stuff I made up. I'll use terminology that sounds probably incorrect to like most pixel artists nowadays. It's basically animating your anti-aliasing so you can get subtle animations within limited space. Cool. Yeah, I don't know if I can do that. I get it. I understand the concept. I don't know if I can do that. I mean, if I work on it, I can do it. I can do anything. Oh, Kirby. You didn't see that. Yeah, just like little areas like that. Another aid. Yeah, they're like everywhere. But like the Everstone didn't exist in Gen 1. So like to me they're not everywhere, right? Like they didn't used to be everywhere. So it's like a new thing. Oh, we're hearing about Lavender Town. They're setting up Lavender Town early. They're telling you about selling nuggets, right? In case you haven't figured it out yet. Oh, I gave him Flash. Oh, we learned Pokemaniac is Kaiju Maniac. Kaiju Mania? Kaiju Mania. Which I kind of assumed ahead of time because all of his Pokemon were Kaiju. I didn't know his name was different, but in Japanese his name is Kaiju Mania. But yeah, they're all Kaiju Pokemon, which I think is great. That also kind of implies Marowak and Cubone are Kaiju. I didn't piece that together, which is interesting because Kangaskhan is a kaiju as well. So like they aren't like to me inherently kaiju like. I mean they're kind of art if you think about it. But I was kind of thinking like small and cute, so I didn't like immediately think kaiju. But yeah, it makes sense. Slowpoke makes sense. But like yeah, I mean like if you need another connection to Kangaskhan, they're both kaiju. I thought that was super cool. I'll draw illustrations of Pokemon when I'm home. Oh, Machop? No, that's my Machop. He's like, I'm an artist, not a fighter. I'll go home to draw. What a nerd. Who does that? Oh, she has a Bulbasaur. Cosplay. Clefairy's a favorite. Oh, so here's the Onix. Watch out for Onix. They appear only occasionally. High-level ones can put the squeeze on you. So that's when I employed the repel plan. It didn't end up working. But yeah, I was kind of doing the same thing. Ooh. What happened here? I did see an Onix, but it wasn't a higher level. What's up, Zuzubab? I want to go home. Wow. Oh, he likes the Pokedex. When you finish your Pokedex, can I have it? By the way, it's late for me. It's like midnight. Oh, the Pokemon here in the mountains are so chunky. I wish there were a pink Pokemon with a floral pattern. I want to know what the Japanese version of this is, because obviously that there's a Pokemon that fits that bill called Musharna later on. Obviously, they did not plan that at this point, but I wonder if they knew about this line and then implied that to a Pokemon later on. In that stream, you were talking about how you could go through the cave without flash by bumping walls, and I used to do that as a kid. I just thought it was meant to be a challenge. Oh, like you didn't know there was another option. Except it was worse because the original. Yeah, that's what I mean by bumping around. I don't think you need to bump around in this version. In my memory, I was thinking of Gen 1, where like you literally can't see. Let's go follow and give that girl a Muna. Oh yeah, Muna is what it's called. Yes. I agree. Oh, this guy's funny. Ha 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 ha. Not laughing. Hay fever. Ha ha ha. Chew. Ha chew ha chew. That was funny. I kid want to see my Pokemon. I don't like you. I don't like anyone better than me. Anyways, the tower. It's cool that you can see the top of it. New oscilloscope. Teamwork will do anything for the sake of money. There's no job too dirty, no deed too heinous, no crime too wicked. Oh, and that now this lady literally saw Cubone's mom die. I saw Cubone's mother trying to escape from Team Rocket. She was killed trying to get away. She saw it happen. You know how this Cubone species wear skulls, right? People pay a lot for one. Ghost is, first of all, that just like that means people have seen underneath a Cubone skull. Ghost appeared in Pokemon Tower. So, oh yeah, we were debating this. We're like, why can't the channel? Why can we see the channelers Ghastlies, but you can't see the Ghastlies in the Pokemon Tower? By the way, this is where we're cutting it off. I actually have not gone back with my self-scope, so we will not be talking about the return trip. So keep any information on that to yourselves for next week. Okay. We were debating. We're like, why can't we see the new, like the ones, like the wild ones? And I was like, well, the NPCs are kind of implying it's like that's why they're there, and they're not unable to do it. So it sounds like a new problem, right? So yeah, it sounds like that. It says Ghost appeared in Pokemon Tower. So I think like the channelers are on duty, like they're on the job, they're on the clock, right? I think that the spirits of the Pokemon that the Rockets killed. So like they're like particularly vengeful. That's so interesting. I didn't even remember that part. So in the Pokemon Tower, they're having like the Pokemon Tower is like having a problem of ghosts. And the ghosts are possessing the channeler. Yeah, so there's like a whole story there. I'm starting to like piece it together. That's so interesting. Cool. So there's all these little seeds, right? All these little like puzzle pieces that you like put together at some point. And I remembered the second half of the puzzle pieces, but until I watched or looked at this screenshot again, I forgot, right? But it's basically like Team Rocket is killing all these Pokemon. By the way, that implies Team Rocket's killing all these Pokemon. I mean, that doesn't even imply, it just says. Right? Again, way worse than like, yeah, here's a big laser, right? I'm taking over the world, right? Which obviously also kills Pokemon, but like that's like comic violence versus like, oh, this is just like they're dying, right? And so, oh, it's 1 o'clock in the morning. Chat, I gotta wrap this up. I still got so much to talk about. So, well, let's move forward. Graveside of Pokemon. So like these aren't like. It's not uncommon for the Pokemon to be dead here. Oh. Well, okay, we're skipping ahead, we'll come back. 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 Let's talk about the Chandler stuff. So we go in there, and there's civilians down here talking about their dead Pokemon. But then you talk to a channeler, she's like, I'm a channeler. There are spirits up to mischief. I sense them high in the tower. So you're kind of getting the... Okay, we're skipping this. You're kind of getting the idea that they're like on duty, right? Even we cannot identify the wayward ghosts. A Silphscope might be able to unmask them. And you go on, and they're like talking about malevolent spirits, right? This one's like, kiki wah. And then you beat her, she's like, sorry, I was possessed. And like a ton of them are possessed. So basically you get this storyline of all these dead Pokemon because of Team Rocket have like taken over. Their ghosts have taken over the Pokemon Tower, right? The civilians are down at the bottom, so none of them are checking in on their Pokemon upstairs, right? And so the channelers have either like whether they're like there already, like they're like that's their tower, or they were like called in. I don't know how channelers work, right? But whether they're stationed there or called in, they're like trying to deal with it. They're like, it's even out of our hands, right? And the ones you talk to are like in the middle of doing their channeler thing, right? And like one of them's like, get back, get back, get back, and the other one's like, I'm already possessed. You know what I mean? They're like, and that's why they're battling you. Like just the same justification for the SSN where they're like, these passages are cranky. Like these passages are possessed or like, in the like freaking out trying to deal with it, right? Kanto has no story. An entire town is under the shadow of a tragedy perpetuated by a greedy man. Yes. It's hard to imagine them talking about Pokemon being killed or sold in new games. I think the Legends games can get away with it because there's a lot of groundedness to Arceus, I would say specifically. I mean, there's groundedness to ZA as well. Yeah, I think I would argue the new games could get away with it. I mean, in Scarlet and Violet, there's a little bit of that too. I like how the mist shows that it's haunted. Yes, that's another aspect, is that there's the mist, right? Right. Okay, let's go back. Yeah. So you talk to anybody else online, and they're just like, it's a Pokemon Tower. It has ghosts. That's the extent of probably what they know about the area, right? I mean, they might know about the Cubone's mother thing, right? But the extent they know about the area is that just like, the ghost place has ghost trainers. The ghost place has ghosts. Do you know what I mean? Like I've never heard anyone in my entire life, aside from the Cubone's mother thing, I've never heard anyone in my entire life discuss the context of why all this is happening in Lavender Tower, right? Do you see what I mean? Like that's the difference between what we're doing, how we're experiencing the game versus like, even myself in the past, right? Like even myself in the past did not put this together. You just watched me piece it together in real life or in real time, right? Anyways, let's back up because we skipped a lot. Oops, wrong way. That's not backing up. That's going forward. We missed a lot of town. Go. Okay, so Ghost Spirit Pokemon Tower. This town is known as the gravesite of Pokemon, so it's not like this is still like a ghost town, in the sense not like ghost town as an empty, but ghost town as in towns for ghosts, right? People talk about the X and Y ghost girl. Right, they're like, what does it mean? Or will they finally answer what it means? Blah 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 blah. And like, I think there's like a reference to it in ZA. I don't think I talked to that NPC, so no spoilers. I have to still do a trip around ZA and talk to all the NPCs, right? But people talk about how like why won't they answer what it means? And they're like, there's like a million theory videos about specifically the X and Y Ghost Girls. But the thing is, they've been in every single game. There is always a ghost girl that is not explained. The point of it is to not be explained. And it starts all the way back with this girl right here. She's like, do you believe in ghosts? Really? So there are believers. And she's like, I guess not. The white hand on your shoulder. I'm just imagining it. And it never gets explained. But that's the point. The point is to not be explained. The point is to be like Billy, like I'm pretend I'm 5 years old. Okay, I'm a 5-year-old and there's my friend. We're in elementary school and we're like, Billy, there's a ghost. Nuh-uh. Not Taco, there's no ghost. I'm like, no, Billy, there's a ghost. You know what I mean? Like that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to go to your playground and be like, look, you talk to this girl and she'll mention there's a ghost hand on your shoulder. You're like, what? You know what I mean? Like that's what that's for. What's up, Patriot fan? The white hand. Ooh, ghost story. You know what I mean? Like that's the point of it. So people are like, will they finally answer what the ghost girl is? It's like, no, there's a ghost girl in every single game and it's never explained. That's the point. There was a theory that death during childbirth for Cubones might be very high, and that's why the Cubones have a mother's skull. My assumption, and this is based on no knowledge, like literally no knowledge. It's just kind of the way things have been. Again, I'm going to plug my Patreon again. My Patreon, we have a weekly meeting, except for this month because we're doing this instead. We have a weekly meeting where we watch media that inspired whatever project I'm working on, right? So right now we're watching Ava for something. We're watching Evangelion for something. But occasionally we go back to like researching Pokemon because there's so much stuff that goes into Pokemon, right? Consistently, I have found the inspiration behind Pokemon is just like, oh, this specific kaiju, right? It's this kaiju or like this type of kaiju. Whether it's if it's not a specific kaiju, it's like, oh, this genre of kaiju, right? Oh, this Pokemon takes from like this type of kaiju, right? This type of sci-fi story, this type of movie. You know what I mean? Like, and it's, you know, we just talked about the Amber from Jurassic Park, right? Like that's in this game, and that explains the lore behind Aerodactyl, right? My assumption is there's some piece out there that I have not watched yet that explains, that's like about like a kaiju that like dies and then it's the little kaiju takes its skull. You know what I mean? Like there's probably some episode. My guess is, I have no idea, but just like track record wise, I'm sure there's some episode somewhere and they're like, oh, let's just make a whole Pokemon out of that, right? Now that's not to say that, because this part is what I'm about to say is true. What they'll do is they'll make a design and then make the lore in hindsight. They're like, okay, here's our Pokemon. How do we make lore about this? So like, it's totally possible. Like they're like, okay, well, this is how we get so many of these. Here's the deep lore on that, right? So it's not like you're wrong, or those people that you saw the theory of. It's not like they're wrong. In fact, they could be completely right. But my money, and I'm talking like $1. I'm not that confident, right? My money is on there being some, it's like some reference to something, and like as soon as we see that, I'll be like, oh my god, it all makes sense, right? Esper, I remember the 4-part Pokemon Origins anime. They reference the white hand. Yes, they do. They do reference it. I think they just found their mother's skull. Yeah, but I'm sure there's like a children's fairy tale. Some Pokemon are children's fairy tales. You know what I mean? But like in Japan only. I always associate Cubone with a poaching metaphor. Yeah, I mean, like, but that's, you know, that's also like the draw. Then not the draw. The power of Pokemon is that like you get to like think about it, right? So like, you know, don't stop thinking about it. Someone's gonna be right eventually. So anyways, there's a ghost girl in every game. The point of it is not to have an answer. Guy talking about double battles. And the narrator, I gave him Chiding, and he's like, oh my god, impeccable name. Those horrible Rockets, they deserve no mercy. That poor Cubone's mother, he was killed trying to escape from Team Rocket. The volunteer house, Mr. Fuji, he's not here, and I haven't seen him yet, so no spoilers. If you've seen him, don't tell me. You learn about him. This is like everyone loves Pokemon here in like a comforting way. He's really kind. He looks after abandoned and orphaned Pokemon, which you learn that he's like, he has Pokemon Insider and Pokemon Fan magazines on the shelf, so he's like a big fan of Pokemon. He's like applying for a monthly grand prize drawing. So like we're learning things about him. I don't know to what extent yet, and if you know, don't tell me. I don't want to know. We're like learning, like the game is like teaching us things about him. So he's applying for the contest. I don't know what that means yet. Be calm, the spirits of Pokemon. Oh yes, so here we go. The famous, if you watched Afterman by any chance, it's a Japanese stop motion documentary about speculative evolution. No, but I mean like okay, so here's the thing. I don't like chilling myself. I really don't. Now, there's a reality where, like, of course, like, everybody's got to make money. Like, I can't never work. You know what I mean? The money exists. Like, there's a reality where money is a part of it, right? So when I'm saying this over and over and over again, I'm not saying this as like some underhanded, like, shilling of myself, right? But, big but, that kind of thing, those kind of, like, like, oh, watch Afterman or whatever, that is what the lore library is. If you guys are interested in, like consuming media in that way, right? Consuming media, I shouldn't say it like that. If you're into, like, this, if you're here right now, everyone here right now is already, like, prime candidate for hanging out with us on the weekend, watching movies and TV shows and stuff like that. And then if you go a step further and you're like, oh man, you should watch this, I bet it inspired a bunch of stuff, here's some information about it. I'm like, oh my god, that's exactly what we do. You're already doing it. You know what I mean? It's just the only part you're missing out on is watching it with us and taking notes. So, but there's money attached to it. So, like, that's a gigantic asterisk. But it's, I want to also clarify, this is something that everyone there already knows. It's a higher amount than a typical Patreon, specifically to keep people out. The only people I want in there are people that want to be in there, right? Yeah, I've literally designed it. We like messed with tiers and stuff like that. I've designed it to, like, so we didn't have just, like, random people popping in. I didn't want the barrier to be low. I wanted the barrier to be high. And there's not a lot of people in there on, like, intentionally. So, like, this isn't like some, like, not a pyramid scheme, but you know what I mean? Like, it's not like some, like, oh my god, like, here's my second yacht. You know what I mean? Like, it's just there. It's literally because it's a barrier to entry, right? Also because, like, again, there's a reality where I gotta pay rent or whatever, but it ain't paying rent. But I still look forward to it every single week. It is quite literally the thing I have the most fun doing every single week. I'm gonna have to check it out and see if I can swing it. Same for Japan trip in May. No pressure. It's we talk about this sometimes. It's something I'm probably going to do for the rest of my life. YouTube is gonna stop at some point. Because I'm here in Japan to learn Japanese to then go into game design, right? Or game development. So YouTube is going to stop at some point. I have so much fun doing the lore library thing every single month or every single week that, like, I will do it probably for the rest of my life forever. It's so fun. I was really part of it a few years ago. Confirm lore library is dope. Thank you. I love exposing Afterman to people, so I might have to do that if you get around to it. Heck yeah. Sounds really cool, but yeah, can't afford that. No, totally understand. There's no pressure. Here's the thing. I've designed it in a way where, like, everything we watch and learn from it will end up in a video anyways, right? So, like, you can take my videos almost as if, like, as, like, recommendation lists. Like, you can reverse engineer my video and be like, oh, okay, I gotta watch Ava, I gotta watch Jurassic Park, I gotta watch Afterman. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, nothing is, like, maybe, like, time gate kept in the sense that, like, people in the Patreon get to know what I'm working on ahead of time, but nothing in the Patreon is gonna be, like, kept from people. Does that make sense? So no one ever has to feel like they're missing out. It's just this, what we're doing right now. You know what I mean? Like, all this is going to be uploaded, all this is going to be a VOD, and then eventually going to hopefully be a video by itself, right? Like here's all 5 weeks crammed into one video, right? So yeah, no one needs to feel like I feel weird. The reason I'm talking about this is because it's such a weird topic to talk about. But yeah, no pressure at all. It's just really fun, and it exists the way it exists to keep people out, basically. Definitely sounds like my alley. I'll try to join when I can't afford it. Yeah, no, just no pressure. It's never related. Did we cover any backtracking stuff in the past week? Backtracking stuff? A little bit, because we had to go back for the aid. Right? Yeah, to get Flash. Okay, so here's a hot take, chat. Here's a hot take. The reason we go into, rule number 2, which is really truly rule number 1, Pretend this game has never existed before. Don't go in with preconceived notions. Do you know what I mean? Play it as with fresh eyes, right? Rule number 2/1 is because the eradicate theory has become true by repetitiveness. People have said it forever, therefore it's true. Okay? They're like, oh, you find green, blue, whatever you want to call him. You find him in the Lavender Town Tower. He asks if your Pokemon have died, and he doesn't have his Eradicate anymore. He must be mourning the loss of his Eradicate. Okay. Sorry if this is an invasive question, but you mentioned YouTube views being part of your income. And I was surprised of that because I assumed YouTube paid little for views these days. Do you get much from the videos you have? No. No, it's just like the amount I make right now, unless like it's like a video that pops off. A video that pops off is like 1 month of rent. If I'm lucky. And I'm not talking like electricity bill. I mean like, oh man, this got like 200,000 views. I can pay rent for the month off that. Okay. And those videos take like months to make, right? Like a really long video takes months to make, right? So like any reliance on YouTube is not a thing, like just does not exist, right? Which is fine. It's not a big deal. I make them because I don't really, thing is, I actually don't really like making YouTube videos. I make them because I like researching them, and then I like the information being out there. So the after I like, and the before I like, the making of I don't like, right? And yeah, no, I can't. Like, it's like, oh man, this one video, I was lucky enough, I can pay rent and like period. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's it, right? And you know, this is a studio apartment in Japan, right? So like the rent is like, you know, nothing, right? And so like I make like no money, but what I do is I have like multiple projects going, right? So like I can do some art, I can do some YouTube, do Twitch or whatever, and like all of that together, like again, if I'm lucky, will pay my expenses for the month, and then like maybe a game, right, to continue the projects, right? So like we're talking like just getting to the next, you know what I mean? Like that's kind of where like personal projects are, but I saved up a bunch of money before going to Japan, so like, you know, not a big deal. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, you know, it would be lying to say it doesn't pay things, but it would be lying to say that it's like livable, right? I know you said you didn't want to become a YouTuber, which I respect, because I think some of the worst content on the platform is from people trying to make it rent with 20 videos a month. Yes. The thing is, like, if it comes down to it, which it will come down to it before I'm out of Japan, right? I will eventually have to work because, you know, savings don't go up. They don't just like replenish themselves, right? So, you know, savings are slowly going down or whatever. I'll eventually have to work. So it'd be nice if YouTube worked out, but like you can't force that, right? Like that just comes. It's better than other jobs. Time for Taco to fill out a job application. Yeah, it's fine. I've worked jobs. I've worked Olive Garden. I've been a barista at multiple places. I've worked at Zoomies, the skate shop. You know what I mean? I look like a guy that would work at Zoomies. Some people can definitely make that work. It's not all bad, but a lot of it can be so bad. Oh yeah, I mean, like I wouldn't sacrifice integrity. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, I'm sure there's some like, you know, if I do become a YouTuber, I'm sure there's some reality where I'm like, okay, I got to do like MeUndies or something. You know what I mean? Like, I got to do some sponsorship or something. Like, there's a reality where that's true. But like, I'm not going to like be like, oh, eat green goop. You'll love green goop. I love green goop. And I like, you know, I take a drink and it's like falls behind my face or whatever, like in a cartoon or something. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to do that kind of stuff. If I'm like, oh, here's 2 videos this month and one's shorter than the other, and I'm like, I just had to get something out this month, that doesn't mean I'm making stuff up. It just means like, oh, I have like a couple of like break in case of emergency ideas that I can like throw out there. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I'm not going to be I'm not gonna do anything that makes me feel icky inside. I like not feeling icky, right? Chilling Kalshi at the Pokemon Game Corner. What is that? Is that the like healthy cereal Amazona thinking of? You wouldn't grift. No way. I get mad. I get like so mad about that stuff. I get like that kind of mad where you could feel like in the back of your eye sockets, where it's like, oh man, if I kept getting mad enough, I would cry. You know what I mean? Like, do you know that feeling? Where like, not like that, not like literally like that, but like, you know, you're just like, why is everyone so sucky? You know what I mean? Like, it's a gambling market. God no. Kalshi is the thing that lets you bet on real world events. Never. I have to block so many channels. I get it. Yeah. That I truly love video games. Like, again, the kind of love that like makes my like I can feel the eyes watering, like the stage before eyes watering. You know what I mean? Where you're like, I love video games. You know. So no, there's no way I would ever do that. And, the nice thing is like it's become the thing people know me for is like being almost like a know-it-all, which I don't love being a know-it-all. One of my back pocket video ideas is to show like I don't know everything, right? Here's how. I just usually wait till I know about it before I talk about it, right? But I'm like, oh, here's a thing that's 80% done. Like I know my positivity of like it being true is 80%, which is not enough for me to talk about it. But I'll talk about it to show you that I don't know everything. I just wait, right? That's like a video idea, like a quick one. I could be like, here's an example of something that I'm not 100% sure about, or that I'm 90% sure about. I'm only 80% sure. And like, you know, maybe then I can like teach people how to do what I do, right? How to not jump the gun. Anyways, so back to this, because this is getting, I feel like we're gonna run out of time soon. Save on these games featuring Mario and friends participating retailers. Oh, you know what sucks about living in Japan? None of those tweets matter to me anymore. I can't like take advantage of those anymore. Everything I got wrong. Not even that. Although that I'm fine with doing. I wouldn't. Podcasts I used to watch used to do corrections before every episode. I'm like, oh, that makes it. That like takes the tenseness out of the air, right? They're like, oh, these are things we got wrong in the last episode. I think that's really like smart. Where you like make that a part of the fun. It's like, oh, we got that wrong. You know what I mean? So I think I'll probably like. I haven't really got anything wrong yet, but I've only come out with 2 videos. So the next big video will have things that got wrong in it. But yeah, like I don't come out with videos long or enough to be like wrong about things. But that will happen. You know what I mean? Like, you know, fast forward 5 years, if it becomes the thing that I live off of, I will have things that I got wrong. Anyways, Blue. So people have the long-running fan theory that just kind of got like repeated into truth that he's there because his Raticate died. And like, you know, some people have different degrees of believing in it. It's not like everybody's like, for sure, this is correct, this is true, right? But like, it fits in the gaps just well enough, according to people. It fits in the gaps just well enough. They're like, oh, I could see that being plausible. And therefore, you know, just like with any conspiracy theory, people believe it, right? So you do surprise Green. So someone was talking to me yesterday. They're like, well, you surprise him, so he's like clearly paying attention to something, but he's just like looking at a wall. He's not like in front of a gravestone. He's not like, oh, that's my Raticate. He's just in front of, like, he's standing in the center of the room in front of a wall, right? He's not looking at anything. He's just, you surprise him because you walk behind him, right? He's like, oh, what brings you here? Nothing out of the ordinary. He's like, is your Pokemon dead? So you're like, oh, okay, I can see where you get slotted in the Raticate. He's like, oh, is your Pokemon dead too? Right? And he's like, hey, it's alive. He's kind of joking around. Doesn't seem in a bad mood. I can at least make them faint. Let's go. So he's not in a bad mood. Maybe he's like angry. Like, oh, my Raticate died. The only way I can process is if I'm angry. But then you look at him. Doesn't look upset to me. Right? Doesn't look upset to me. And then you beat him, right? I beat him. He's like, what, you stinker? I took it easy on you, too. All right, like typical Green. How's your Pokedex coming along? I just caught a Cubone. And there you have it. And there you have it. He is not here. He is not here to mourn his Raticate. He's just catching Pokemon. That's his reasoning for being here, right? People talk about like, oh, his Raticate died on the SSN. He just came from a party on the SSN. And he's all excited about his bonjour, right? So that half of the theory does. I mean, that half of the theory was never good anyways. You never killed his Raticate. That would be a completely weird thing to do in this game, right? So that half of the theory is gone. And then you come here, and like, there's no actually indication. Again, what it is people filling in blanks, right? Filling in cracks with fan theories. There's not actually any indication other than him being here that like there's anything to do with dead Pokemon, right? And then you talk to him and he's like, oh yeah, I was trying to catch a Cubone. And he's like clearly not upset, right? Hold on. Wendell, remember the boy pronoun is automated? Yes. A lot of people got he's in there. Okay, I'm a little lost. The boy has never had to process anything in his life. Yes, you could pretty safely assume that Green realized that Raticate was mid and replaced it with a better, more varied Pokemon. Hey, some people like Raticate. He also confirms he caught a Cubone, but the Cubone isn't on his team. So he isn't really using every Pokemon he has. Oh yeah, good point. Yeah, he just switched Pokemon. I mean, he's completing the Pokedex with you. Of course he doesn't only have 6 Pokemon, right? I feel like the tower being the only gravestone in all of Kanto is kind of a wild jump to make. Doesn't play he has a scope. I actually don't know. Yeah, he clearly caught the Cubone, but I also wonder if something we'll get to in a second. I also wonder if like Cubones don't count as ghosts, right? Like if there's just some Cubones walking around. Makes him more jerkish if he's just there to catch Pokemon, which is how the game tends to portray him. Oh yeah, good point. Yeah, that's also a good point. Plus, he's everywhere you're going to be. So this is an event area. Do you know what I mean? Like things are going down in this area. Of course he's going to be there too, right? I can't find the bigger Marowak. Where could they be? I bet there aren't any left. Well, I better get going. I've got a lot to accomplish, unlike you. Yeah, there's no morning, right? Smell you later. Oh, and the fact that they've had Gen 1, the remakes, Let's Go, Pokemon Origins, and any other side content to clarify that he's there looking for Raticate, and they never did. Do you see what I'm saying? They've had multiple chances to redo it, and they've added details between those different games. Like, we found out the thing about Brock. He's like, oh, he's tough to make laugh, but once you get him laughing, he can't stop. You know what I mean? Like, they've clarified aspects of people in this game already. It's not like they're not doing that, but they're not doing that with the Raticate thing. So, like, if there's, and again, they're not shy about creating stories with context clues. So there's no story with context clues. There's no clarification on character, or no story clarification when they've done it elsewhere for multiple different games. The same game, right? It's not in Pokemon Origins. He's happy before and he's happy after. He tells you why he's here, right? There's no you killing his Raticate on SSN. He's like talking about his party and saying, well, he didn't talk about the party. Maybe he did talk about the party. I don't remember. But he's like, he basically got invited to the party and he's like, oh, I love French people. You know what I mean? There's like no space other than just having fun and like thinking of like headcanon, which is fine. I want to clarify. That's totally fine. But there is no indication that it's true. Right? And you need to go back and read Pokemon Adventures. But I don't think Green is there to mourn either. Yeah. I would think so too, but you did see a ghost that made him Cubone cry. I wonder if that's implying Green is trying to catch the evolutions rather than training and evolving to fill his decks. I mean, I'm sure it's both, right? Because he's obviously evolving his own Pokemon. It's definitely folklore to me. People get attached to an idea. Yeah, I mean, like, but it's still fun. Like, I would never want a world where we didn't spend 30 years with that theory. It's Pokemon is more fun as like a franchise for that theory existing. Does that make sense? Like, I'm glad it exists and I want people to keep believing it, but we can be the one people that don't believe it because we found out it's not true. Does that make sense? Like, both scenarios I'm glad exist. I'm happy to be the one to know it doesn't exist, but I'm happy for those people to think it exists. By the way, the word he is banned. So if you use he, your thing is going to get automated. It's a long story. It was a mistake on my part, but now I kind of like it. It's kind of fun. Right? Does that make sense? It's fun to theories about, and I enjoy debunking it because the process of it. Yeah. Taco hates pronouns. I'm sure. Only he's, though. No he's allowed. It's like Erica's gym. So anyways, they can't, they can't get the ghosts. They're all possessed. I love that. I love that they're like on duty and like doing a bad job, or like doing the best they can, but not solving it. They're basically like, yeah, we need the self scope. So these are like extra angry ghosts because they were all killed by Team Rocket. Oh, there's like a summoning circle? What a crazy thing to find. There's like a summoning circle. Come, child, I've purified the space. We found out that when you enter, not only is she not possessed, she's not possessed when everyone else is. She's not possessed, but... Oh, wait, first of all, it heals your Pokemon. There's a cleanse tag in there. And then... There it is. You don't encounter any ghosts in there. Those all count as steps. Yeah. You're not encountering any ghosts in there. I think that's so cool. A little bit of world design. Again, making a choice for, like, the world existing. You know what I mean? It's like a one-off thing. Oh, this person says, give me blood, and then you find out she's anemic. Not that being anemic is funny. It's just like... like... It's like the other person that was like, oh, zombies. She's like, oh, I was just dreaming. And it's like, okay. Oh, her hair fell out? That's scary. Oh. I can't hear this. But the... Oh, that must not be it. Begone Intruders. It has a different cry. I can't hear it. I don't have my headphones in, but that's not a ghastly cry. And then I went and recorded. Is this it? I think I found... I can't hear, so you're just gonna watch these clips. We found 3 different cries, is what these clips are. I don't know if I'm actually finding them in this video, because I can't hear. So I wonder if it's like, these are actually like encounters. They're just masked, right? So I wonder if they're actually encounters. Based on our dialogue, it seems like the ring doesn't heal your Pokemon, but rather you're resting there since you want to get attacked. So much of the beds. Let's go see. You might be right. You're right. I would say so. I think you are just resting. Although, like, it's so instant, right? I don't know. I think, I don't think you're wrong. I could not in any circumstance be like, oh, you're wrong. But I also don't, like, again, it's like an 80% sure. Like, I'm 80% sure you're correct. Or maybe even 50%. I don't know. I can see either way because the animation's, like, instant. And I think it even makes a noise, maybe. Anyway, so I didn't do it. Wait, I had to leave. Because it doesn't let you go further. I heard that Clefairy evolves when exposed to a moonstone. Read that in a journal. Oh, he's like, I'm a nerd. It's like, no, you should be informed. You should be informed. You need strategy to win. And then his whole strategy was sending out Grimers. He's like, go with Grimer first, and then Grimer, and then Grimer. Oh, this one is funny. He's like, I'm a rambling gaming dude. He's clearly saying I'm a rambling gambling dude. But they're like, they're not allowed to say that. And he says, playing games in Pokemon are like eating peanuts. I can't stop. Which, if you know he's gambling, it's like, oh no. First double battle. We must look silly standing like this. They do. I'm stuck here because of the gates of saffron. So they can't. No one can go through because they're thirsty. Pokemon grow up. They got ugly. They shouldn't evolve. I don't think that's true anymore. I do think that is true of this generation. And I was thinking about that. I'm like, for the new starters, I was like, I actually can't decide which one I want. I don't like love any of them. Probably Brout is like the funniest. So I like Brout because it's funny, right? But I'm like, I just want the one that looks ugly when it evolves. I want the one that looked like a dude in a suit, right? I want a kaiju. And I was thinking about it, I'm like, we haven't really had kaiju since, I think, Gen 4? Like, some Pokemon, like, like, you'll 1 and 3 might look a bit more kaiju-esque. But Gen 5, it's like when you start getting slim Pokemon, and then Gen 6 is like, they're all 3 are slim. I mean, like, obviously, Chestnut's not slim, but Chestnut's not, like, a dude in a suit. Chestnut is, like, just a big guy. You know what I mean? He's got, like, spindly arms and stuff. But yeah, I'm like, oh man, I think I'm old. that's like the conclusion I came to. I'm like, Pokemon changed a long time ago and I just didn't notice. It's been I keep each generation like, which one's the kaiju? I want the kaiju Pokemon. None of them have been. No. I mean, as the starters. Sorry, as the starters. There's still kaiju Pokemon. The starters don't turn into kaiju anymore. We're not getting Venusaur anymore. I'm hoping Gekwa turns into a big Venusaur thing. I think it's gonna be like a woman behind a tapestry kind of thing. Because Gekwa's main pose is Gekwa has the big eyelashes, and then she I shouldn't say she because it can be either one, I'm sure. But they're going like this. They're like hiding. You know what I mean? They're like, woo, So I think that's gonna the final evolution's gonna have like, you know what I mean? That's kind of what I'm assuming is gonna happen. Whatever that is, be like, come over here, that kind of thing. To me, that's that's fine. I'm perfectly fine with that existing. I have no problem with that. But that I want a kaiju. You know what I mean? I want whatever the one that turns into a kaiju. I tried that with the last game too. I did get it. I picked Togator. Sorry, play Coco. I follow Japanese streamers now, and one of the ones I follow loves Fuecoco, but she's Japanese, so she says Hogator. So now I guess apparently I've defaulted to Hogator. Wow, that's my first like genuine Japanese Pokemon name that I like mentally prefer. Not a kaiju, but Incineroar is still a monster. Yeah. I made a tweet. I was like, which one turns into a monster? And they're like, we don't need another Incineroar, and they like meant that. I was like, no, not that kind of monster. I mean like a kaiju. So I've been saying kaiju since. Samurott is monstery but slimish. Yeah, it's slim, right? It feels like curvy, right? It's not the same thing. I think the closest we've gotten was Skeleridge. Yeah. Hogator. Oh, Loudbone. I've learned that as well. Loudbone is the Japanese name for Skeleridge. Loudobone. I was thinking something like that, more drag queen-esque. Yeah, it's something that you're gonna put your arm in front of your face, right? You're like seductive, right? It maybe is what I'm getting at. I feel like it's gonna turn into something seductive, which is fine. I want to clarify. I'm not those guys that are like, like, women in my Pokemon game. This is too woke. I'm not like that. I just mean like, if I had the choice between ramen and udon, Sometimes I just want to eat the ramen. Doesn't mean that I want, like, oh, udon shouldn't exist. You know what I mean? I just want to eat the ramen. Right. So yeah, I just want whatever one. Like, I don't even care. The thing is, like, I don't like love any of them. I'm not attached to any of them. So I'm just like going off of guesses. I'm like, oh, which one's gonna be the most monster like? And so I almost think I'm gonna pick Pom Bomb because it's already on all fours. It's like I think it has the highest chance of staying on all fours, and usually on all fours means it's gonna be the most monster like, the most like animal like, right? But Hogator, Fuecoco, turned into was standing and then went on all fours. So like that's not guaranteed, right? And you know the Japanese name for Magmar, right? Booby. I like the alternate language names for nickname inspiration sometimes. Yeah, Hogator's so fun. At the end of their streams, I don't remember how I got there. It like took a couple streams for me to realize how good it was. I was like, oh my gosh, why didn't I think of this? At the end of their streams, I'm always like, later, Hogator. I'm like, that's so smart. It's so fun to say. I'm like, later, Hogator. So now I like that's probably why it's stuck in my mind. What if no feet? What does that mean? Like a snake? I tend to hedge my bets on middle evolutions because I don't really like the final evolutions. Sometimes, ever since Gen 5, I've been cool with not evolving my Pokemon. I had a Snivy the entire game in Gen 5. And then I wish I kept my Hogator a Hogator, my Toopy a Toopy. I nicknamed my Fuecoco Toopy. I kind of wish I kept it a Toopy. I like the middle evolution, actually. I really like the Link's Awakening egg on the big nest thing. I really like that, actually. Kind of wish I kept them on that. What other ones did I not evolve? There's a lot of Pokemon I didn't evolve. I can't think of anyone at the moment. Oh, I didn't evolve Scorbunny. I just guessed. I'm like, nothing's going to be as good as Scorbunny, and I was correct. Like, their other ones are fine. I think they're cool. I think they're great designs. But they're not Scorbunny, and Scorbunny's perfect, so. Tonka was the Roy's of Adventure until he chose Bub instead. Who's Roy? One of my favorite alt Pokemon names is for Rockruff. It's called Iwanko. I agree. Oh, we're learning kanji. And now I forgot what it was. It's like Iwanko. It's Onyx. Whatever Onyx's name is how I remember the kanji. But now all of a sudden I forgot both Onyx's name and the kanji. Roy from Horizons. Boy with a Hogator. Oh. Yeah, Bub, to me, when I think back about my Scarlet and Violet team, it's just Bub. Bub is the name of my Tatsugiri. I don't really remember any of the other Pokemon I used on my team. It was just like Bub became like my icon. I love Bub. Yeah, I can't remember anybody else on my team. I mean, like, I have a Pikachu, so obviously there's a Pikachu on my team. Anyways, we're way off track. If this is gonna be put in a it's gonna be put in a long video. People are gonna be like, what are you talking about? You're no longer talking about the book club. I'm trying to like get through a little faster. Pokeflute, we haven't seen one yet, but they're telling me about it. Uphill the cycling road. You know, they're teasing stuff. Keep out of Team Rocket's way, so you can tell they've kind of like taken over the town because you can talk to them. Someone stole a Self Scope. Rocket Game Corner. Playground for grown-ups. More gambling dudes. Celadon keeps itself beautiful. And then like they're kind of aware. You can tell the citizens are kind of aware that the game corner is bad. This little girl's getting poisoned by her own coughing. I got my coffee in Cinnabar. It's usually nice, but breathes poison when it's angry. She's only got years to live. He's talking about tea he got from an old lady. You learn about water stones because you can go buy some in this town. Yeah, you can tell Team Rocket's taking over. This guy's peeking in on the girls' gym. I'm kind of happy they kept them in here. Like, that'd be an easy thing. Well, I don't know if it'd be easy to scrub, but, you know, I can imagine them wanting to scrub this. But it's like, well, no. I think people need to know this was what this game was like. You know, maybe add, like, the Looney Tunes, like, disclaimer at the beginning, right? Nature-loving princess is Erica. We find another Snorlax. I forgot there was 2. I don't understand this girl. Does she have, like, a secret house? She's like, take fly. I don't get that. Like, what's the story behind that? There's a lady who gives you tea. Oh, Game Freak's here. Game Freak meeting room. And you go in and you actually see Game Freak. He's like, I wrote the story. I'm the graphic artist. I'm the programmer. And then he's like, oh, come to me after you complete the Pokedex. I like that you can, like, see the sky. We're exploring the Celadon department store. Depato. I like that there's a game store. Because there totally is in real life, obviously. I wonder if this is like a book off. There's a real store called Book Off and Hard Off in Japan that are like this. Red and green. Both are Pokemon. You learn about Pokédoll. Oh, this is funny. The guy on the left is like, my sister's annoying. And then if you give her lemonade, she gives you reflect. She's like, she's annoying, but she's a trainer. And so, like, if you, like, give into her ways, she's like, I'm a trainer. Here's an item for you. I'm like, oh, cool, cool. Oh, he lost all his money, so he's drinking his woes away with a beer. This guy's got omelet rice. Pokemon are weak, so I have to go to the drugstore. Hi. We just shipped 2,000 more Pokemon at slot price. Oh, you find out that the Rocket corner, the gambling parlor, is a front for them trafficking Pokemon. I mean, if you like combine this meeting with previous meetings, you basically learn like all of their like little like seemingly random crime jobs are all like tied in together. You know what I mean? You like learn piece by piece that like, oh, this all ties into itself. And so yeah, their game corner is a front for them trafficking Pokemon. So if any of you guys bought any of those Pokemon, you're supporting Team Rocket, just so you know. Just in case you want to feel a little guilty, you're buying trafficked Pokemon. Granted, you could argue like, hey, at least you're saving them, right? Did you check the posters? Yes. Sorry, I was trying to speed through. I wasn't reading chat at the moment. I like how the game eases you into the seediness. It's like you're interested in Team Rocket with a few grunts and you get lavender. Yeah. Oh, I agree. Yeah. They like build it up. I got my Dratini for the game corner. I'm supporting Team Rocket, I guess. I mean, you've also saved the Dratini, but you know, also that's probably someone's Dratini. You know what I mean? You like, it was like a one-sided trade basically. Also for it being a front for Rocket H2, yes. I did gamble a lot, but I didn't get anything. I want to get the Porygon. I was thinking about the implications of them having a Porygon. Like, whose gear did they steal where they got a Porygon out of it? Do you know what I mean? Like, there's implications about the Pokemon that they have. Jack Rocks reached a 3-stream streak. Heck yeah. Oh, yeah, baby. So, yeah, they have, like, a Dratini, which I assume, like, the assumption in there is that it's rare. Right? They're selling it because it's rare. The other two are just, like, kind of, like, I think maybe just kind of implied to be Rocket Pokemon. I mean, we have screenshots of it. We'll get to it. Oh, this is a human hotel. I think this is me filling in gaps that aren't necessarily there. Okay, chat. This is a taco headcanon. Okay, this is a taco headcanon. Okay. So we got that asterisk. Now we all agree we have that asterisk above our heads right now. We're like, okay, what he's about to say is taco headcanon. Hotels in Japan are utilized quite often on by people who live in the same city. Okay. Now they do clarify they're on vacation, but I'm kind of wondering if this is like if you were a Japanese person playing this game, if you would have gotten like an inside joke here that this dude is upset that his girlfriend brought his little brother because they had different plans, or he had different plans. And he's like, why did she bring her brother? And like, the implication could just simply be like, oh, little brothers are annoying, right? But like, it is super common here. Like, there's hotels all over Tokyo. I shouldn't say super common. I mean, like, people have houses and stuff like too, right? Well, not in Tokyo, but no one hangs out at each other's houses, and that's also not true. It depends on how big your house is, but like, no one's coming over here, right? There's no room in here for people to hang out. Like, I can't reach the other side of the wall, but if I leaned over, I could reach the other side of the wall, right? Like, this thing is, there's no one's coming over here. And so, like, everyone, when people hang out, they go somewhere. Like, oh, let's go to an izakaya. Oh, let's go bowling. Or, you know what I mean? Like, you go somewhere to meet, right? And, like, no one goes to each other's houses. You go places to meet. And then, like, obviously, if you want to hold hands, you got to go to a dedicated holding hands place. Because there's no holding hands in public. I mean, you can hold hands, but you can't hold hands. You know what I mean? So, and this is, I mean, I'm painting with broad strokes here. Like, there's exceptions everywhere. You know what I mean? Like, I'm painting with broad strokes. But I do wonder if that is like what the joke is here. Because there's only 2 jokes that are being made right now. This area, at least the point I'm playing right now, completely pointless. You go in here and it's just a hotel for the sake of a hotel existing, right? And then there's clearly some joke happening right here, and it's either just A, little brothers are annoying, or B, little brothers are ruining it. See what I'm saying? I mean, like, even if it was a normal hotel, I'm sure he's wanting to hang out with his girlfriend to hold hands. Right, like, regardless if this is a Japan-specific thing or not. It's not like Americans haven't held hands before. Do you know what I mean? It's not like Americans haven't booked a hotel to hold hands before. I'm just saying it's a lot more common. Like, you can hang out at the hotel for like 4 hours, right? You can be like, oh, we're not sleeping here. We're just holding hands for 4 hours. You know what I mean? We were just watching Ava, and there's, like, in Ava, spoilers. Actually, genuine spoilers. So here's the spoiler hand. Okay, it's going to stay up until I'm done talking. In Ava, there's a hotel holding hands moment where they're at the hotel specifically to hold hands. And then I assume they go home afterwards. You know what I mean? They don't sleep there. All right. Done with the spoiler talk. No, you're definitely right. Yeah. I think... The thing is, but like, why would the brother come though? If it was I think that's the one thing that makes me think like, oh, maybe that's not what that is. Why would the brother come to that if they're like already live in Celadon City, right? So like, it might actually genuinely be vacation. But also like, even if it is vacation, it's not like they can't hold hands on vacation. You know what I mean? Maybe the Rockets own hand holding hotels. I mean, like, that's the thing. Like, they could, you know what I mean? But Celadon City is Tokyo. In Tokyo, they're just everywhere, and it's not like this hush hush thing, right? It's not like people are calling it holding hands hotels. But yeah, maybe they're just going to the city for vacation, and little brother's ruining it. You know what I mean? Like, I could see it either way. Again, has the asterisk of like, maybe I'm overthinking it, right? I recognize that. I recognize that I'm overthinking it. I think whether it's that or not, it still works. Yes. See, that's what I agree. I agree with that. I mean, because like, if he's just there to go to the arcade, the Celadon City arcade, the little brother can go there and not ruin it. You know what I mean? Like, so I feel like it is that regardless if it's that or that. You know what I mean? It is that if it's that or that. You know? That or that or that. Okay. Anyways, moving on. Oh, so they're definitely not from here, though. Celadon is such a pretty city. Yippee, I'm on vacation. My sis brought me along. Awesome. I'm glad the little brother's having fun. I never really considered it's supposed to be Tokyo as opposed to a big city. TM. Yeah, no, it's definitely Tokyo. I think it is. Well, that's why Game Freak's office is there. Because that was in Tokyo, I think, as well. Pokemon is a hotel for people. We're full up. I sure do fancy that Porygon, but it's hard to win at slots. Yeah, so all of these Pokemon have some degree of like rarity to them, right? Abra is hard to catch. Clefairy is like a low chance spawn. Dratini is like a typical like, oh, it's a dragon type. It's rare, right? Scyther is a spoiler, so we won't talk about that. But Scyther has a rarity to it, and then Porygon is like a man-made Pokemon. So I'm really curious. I'm really curious if there's like additional intent. Like, how did they get a Porygon? Like, whose computer did they take? You know what I mean? Who did they ransack? I wonder if they'll bring that up later. Oh, you see the gym guy out of the gym. You see the gym guy out of the gym. Any thoughts of the prices are different between versions? No, I did not know that. That's a cool thing to bring up. You see the gym guy out of the gym, which Turbo Dog pointed out why when we get to that. I don't know if Turbo Dog's still here. Turbo Dog pointed out why. Oh, so he's just gambling. One girl says that she thinks the different machines have different odds, and I wonder if that's true or she's just saying that because that's what people say, right, at gambling parlors or whatever. Oh, you found out you could take photos of your Pokemon. I thought that was cool. Your team. The classic button behind the poster. You go down. Out to lunch. Some of them are like saved. I thought that was fun. I did get 7-7. One is out of order. I did get 777 once. A Rugged Hideout. I thought that looked cool. My Pokemon evolved. I don't think there's any lore in here other than the fact that it's Team Rocket's base, right? Like, you don't know what any of this stuff is. You keep saying that. He dropped the lift key, and he really does drop it. Oh, all the moves you learn here are like evil people moves, like Frustration and Thief and stuff like that, right? Oh, I found Pokeballs between these two bushes or whatever, and then I sat next to him. So I must say, I'm impressed you got here. Team Rocket captures Pokemon from around the world. Oh, that's another thing. We talked about this in the last meeting. Yeah, these are not Kanto Pokemon. There wasn't 150 Pokemon in Kanto. It was 150 Pokemon in the world. And there's so much dialogue that supports that. Yeah. There's just so much dialogue that supports that. Yeah, it was before Pokemon was like a franchise. Before Pokemon was a series. You know, like people make the jokes about like, oh, why didn't they just go next door? There's another 100 Pokemon next door. Like, no. This is all the Pokemon. Pokemon are not all from Kanto. Pokemon can all be found in Kanto, sort of. There's exceptions to that. Pokemon can all be found in Kanto, but they're all like, their origins are not, they're not Kanto Pokemon. Some Pokemon are like from France, some from Ecuador. You know what I mean? Like, they're just from different places, and it just constantly supports that. Grading odds. I played the machine next to her and won a ton. Oh, interesting. Yeah, we'll see if I'll try that out. Why not? So Team Rocket is the reason some of these Pokemon are now here in Kanto, even if they're invasive or they're in a. Okay. By the way, the no teasing future spoilers. I'm trying my best not to do that as well, because then you're like waiting for it in your head, kind of like seeing a trailer ahead of time. You're like, oh, when's this moment coming up? You know what I mean? You're not in trouble. You probably weren't here for the last time we explained that. Yeah. There are definitely Pokemon that are implied to like be of different amounts of rarity, right? So we get the joke with Farfetch because we've seen Farfetch already, so it's not a spoiler, where they're like eaten to extinction because like the reason it's called Farfetch is because it's like, oh, what are the chances? A leek and a duck, ooh, duck soup. So the only way you can get one is by trading it. So there are Pokemon through context clues that are kind of implied to be like harder to find, or like from a different area, or like we talk about the guys like talking about like I would really like to see if there's supporting evidence for the Pokemon that are on the SSN from like that they're not from Kanto originally, right? Because I think there's like a Growlithe and something else. It'd be nice to see if they're like, oh, those are French Pokemon. Those are, well, yeah, French Pokemon because the staff on there is French. Trade exclusives are just rare spawns. Makes sense to be imported. Yeah, or not even imported, just like rare. I meant that as an example of like, oh, this is the game indicating that these Pokemon are rare. So using that same logic, I wonder if the Pokemon on the SSN are indicated to not be from Kanto. So everything you see on the SSN is from like a different place, right? Yeah. It'd be interesting to see if Team Rocket's Pokemon are like there's some indication that they're not from here. You know what I mean? Obviously, Ekans is because there's a million Ekans. We did learn from that one girl that Coughing is on Cinnabar Island. So like there's already 2 Pokemon that they have that aren't that. But well, maybe his Pokemon aren't. I mean, but they all kind of. Oh, maybe Kangaskhan's not. Yeah, maybe his Pokemon are international. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, put a pin in that. Put a pin in that. We'll see. Because yeah, maybe he's talking about his Pokemon specifically. Yeah, put a pin in that. We'll keep an eye on Rhyhorn and Kangaskhan in the future. Because it's not like we've run into those Pokemon in the wild. I mean, like, yeah, Kangaskhan doesn't evolve from anything. So it's not like we've seen a pre-evolution. I mean, like, Cubone or whatever, right? But have we seen a Cubone? I mean, a Cubone would be in... I guess they're walking around and... Well, are they ghosts? Because we can't see them with a Silph Scope. And we can hear them as ghosts. Are Cubones ghosts? No, they're obviously not. But you know what I mean? Like, that's the kind of thoughts you're, like, starting to think. It's like, oh, like, maybe the game is already hinting with context clues that some Pokemon are, like, not from around here, right? I have a theory. Does it involve future stuff? If you have a theory that involves future stuff, don't even hint at it. If you have a theory that involves all the information we have now before we've used the Silph Scope, because I have not used the Silph Scope yet, then by all means, tell me. Red and Blue, the ghosts don't have cries. Oh, that's important. That is important information. I think it's funny we beat him and he's like a child like you. I wonder how they control the stolen Pokemon without badges. Well, I mean, like you assume they're far enough along in their journey to be fine with it, right? You can wait then, I'm not sure. Okay, yeah, we'll just hold on. So the aid guy, who is a guy, the guy cheering us on, he's like, oh, champ in the making. He's not here because there's no dudes allowed. So he's over at the parlor. He's like his own character. I think that's so fun. He has like his own storyline. He's like rooting for us. And he's like, oh, champ in the making. And he's not allowed in here. That's so funny. Okay, but we can't talk about Gen 1 either. But you're totally right. Jack 2 rocks, you're totally right. But Gen 1 doesn't exist. Which is a little bit of a bending of my own rule. Because obviously the point of the rule is like... anything that before this game exists, so Gen 1 does exist, but because we're playing a remake of it, we'll just pretend that game doesn't exist, right? So that's understandable why you would bring up Gen 1, but let's just pretend it doesn't exist. Like every once in a while someone will bring up some Gen 1 and I'll be like, oh, that's cool, but like we'll have to try our best to pretend it doesn't exist just so we don't accidentally spoil or like go into this game with preconceived notions, right? I was just guessing. Okay. Because the benefits of badges are controlling your Pokemon you didn't catch yourself. I feel like that's like out of respect, right? I think they probably say that at some point early on. I think it's like out of respect in the sense that like your Pokemon recognizes that you are strong enough, right? Clyde in the gym guide went gambling to cope with the fact that he's not allowed to sell it on City Gym. That's one of my favorite little details. Yeah, I think he's great. I think that's so fun. I like him. I like that guy. He's like a full character that like no one ever brings up. Yeah, I don't think it's like literally like, oh, you attach it to your body and like physical levels of Pokemon are like now unlocked. Like, oh, I trust you. You know what I mean? I don't think it's like that. I think it's more like, oh, I respect this trainer. I, the Pokemon, respect this trainer. Right? Oh, I'm showing the gym badge up here. I think that's so cool. Weren't you peeking in earlier? No. What am I doing here? What's this? Oh! My Chiding leveled up. My Chiding leveled up. And look, he pretended not to notice. I'm like, what do you mean he pretended not to notice? What do you mean you pretended not to notice, Chiding? Chiding ignored orders? What do you mean, Chiding? What do you mean? What do you mean ignored my orders? Anyways, he leveled up. And I haven't experienced this since I was a kid. He stopped listening to me. Lexa Pro Gaming, thanks for the follow. Or the sub. Thank you. Enjoy your Digi-Egg. Up to level 30, they say. Yeah, so I officially over-leveled my... I mean, like, I'm in the battle right now. So it's not like it was over-leveled until now. But in mid-battle, I leveled up. I over-leveled. I know, speaking of badges, yeah, when you were talking about that, I'm like, ooh, they don't know what's coming up. And so my Chiding died. So I don't know if these girls are like of the time. So like, you know, even like now, Japan's a little bit weird about like gender roles, right? Japan's trying to be way more progressive. They're definitely way more progressive than they used to be. But like, there's still like some like leftover gender roles, right? Where it's like the woman is expected to be this way. I mean, like that applies to America too. It's just like, you know, maybe feels a little bit more like intense in Japan, right? And it's changing. But this is the 90s, or sorry, the early 2000s. And I can't tell if these girls are written to be like put in their gender roles, or they're written to be mean, right? So you can read this line two ways. She's like, I have a blind date coming up. I have to learn to be polite, aka I'm not polite now. She's like, oh man, I have a problem with not being polite, right? Like that's interpretation one. Or there's interpretation two, where the dudes who are writing this are like, women need to be polite. Do you know what I mean? Do you see all those two different interpretations? The reason I think it might be that she's mean is because I think, where is it? I think they are mean, right? Like, we don't like bug or fire type Pokemon here, which, you know, is the type advantage. But then you beat Erica. She's like super nice. You beat her. Okay, you beat her, and she's like, you are cataloging Pokemon. I must say I'm impressed. I would never collect Pokemon if they were unattractive. Right? There's like this little bit of mean to a couple of the trainers in here. Right? Like a little bit of mean. And so I'm like, oh. And then like, so with that knowledge, I'm like, oh, was the girl with the blonde hair just like, maybe she's also mean, you know? Like I couldn't figure out what they're going for, but it's also just like the 2000s. They could have just been like kind of misogynistic about how they are interpreting women, right? Only real ladies are allowed in here. It's pretty mean. Yeah, I mean, like, I don't mind the guys not being allowed in. I think it's funny, but like, I can also see that she means she has to learn how to be polite in terms of learning specific manners, state behaviors. Yeah, but like, I think, Like, to me, that's more of a stretch where it's like, I don't know how to be a person. You know what I mean? Like, I'm new to this. Now, that being said, talking about dates is not like an uncommon thing for this time period of people writing women dialogue, right? Because this whole entire gym's about being a girl, right? Someone pointed out to me that the gym is in the symbol. It's in the Venus symbol. See, the hedges are the circle of the Venus symbol, and then you got the cross underneath. Right? So this entire gym is about being a girl. But, you talk to, she's like, I would never collect unattractive Pokemon, but then she has, like, Victory Bell and Tangela. Right? It kind of, to me, feels like there's, like, this underlying, like, mean. Oh, we're so cute. We're so timid. We're so, blah, blah, blah. And then they're like, hee, here's poison. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of like certified mean girls. Yeah. No, she said unattractive. She says, yeah, unattractive. Oh, you don't like that she said unattractive. Yeah, but I think there's like a not a double meaning. Double meaning's not the right thing. If she means it in a way that she, like, only to herself. You know what I mean? Like, as in, like, again, she has a Victory Bell and a Tangela, right? And honestly, like, Vileplume's kind of scary sometimes too. Gloom is scary, and she has a Gloom in the anime, right? In the anime, she's so much nicer, and I feel like they've, like, retroactively made her nicer over time. Like, when you see, like, her TCG art, she's always just helping people out and stuff like that. And you can interpret it as, like, she finds beauty in ugly things, but she's, like, unattractive, so maybe she thinks beautiful things are unattractive. You know what I mean? But yeah, I do think they're kind of, like, Mean Girl adjacent, because that feels like a running theme through it. Or maybe it's like again, we're talking like 2000s, maybe it's like a girl power thing. They're like, this is how we're showing that they have, like, girl power, is like they're strong, independent women, right? Like, poorly written, strong, independent women. You know what I mean? Like, by the way, I'm not making fun of strong, independent women. I'm making fun of if that was what their goal was, how poorly they did it, right? Assuming she's just really into plants and finds them pretty to look at, so finds grass types beautiful. Yes. That is 100%, 1 trillion bazillion percent correct. But I wonder if that is a part of the overall characterization, where you assume one thing with the things she's saying, but then it has a different meaning to her, right? See what I'm saying? Like she's passionate about plants, and therefore she hates bug Pokemon. She's like, they're anti-plant. You know what I mean? Do you see what I'm saying? Like, I hate bug Pokemon because they're anti-plant. They don't see the beauty of plants. You know what I mean? Like, that doesn't mean this. When she says unattractive, it is to her truth, but, like, that doesn't mean, like, what everyone else thinks is about unattractive, right? Have you seen Girls? The whole gym has that vibe of that movie with a botany aesthetic. Yeah, that's kind of what I think as well. I think they're all just, like, slightly mean, but also, like, I hate to say this, but, like, I feel like that was very much a stereotype at that time. I mean, Mean Girls came out around that time, right? Where it's like, I mean, that's, obviously mean people exist in real life, but, like, I feel like writing girls in that way was, like, a easy thing to do back then. I can think of a million, like, movies where, like, the girl was like that, right? I was getting auto-modded. No, you're fine. Everyone gets auto-modded. Just because I have weird things accidentally auto-modded. It's a long story. Like, again, I think, like, the whole thing, like, oh, here's poison. You know what I mean? I feel like that's all, like, it's an underlying theme through the whole thing. And I think they've, like, taken that away. I think she's gone to just straight up being super nice now. I think probably because of the anime. And the alternate time, like, it's here being a normal type trainer and having a pink Pokemon, like a Fairy and Jigglypuff, going off the unattractive line. See, I don't think that, I disagree with. I think that's missing the point. And I don't mean like, oh my gosh, you're so dumb, you missed the point. I don't mean like that. I just mean like, I think, um, I think it's required to her characterization to have ugly Pokemon that use poison. Does that make sense? Her whole strategy. So I actually didn't get to participate in her strategy too much because I had a Pidgeotto and a Charmeleon. But her whole thing is like status moves, right? So like there's like an underlying like you know what I mean, not underhanded, but like, like a mean girl thing going on. No, I agree. Actually, I misphrased. I meant it more like a theory question. Yeah, someone said if you were talking about a theory, I think someone else answered you. She'd have like a grand ball, right? She'd have fairy types, but they'd be all like the ugly, scary ones, right? Like the grim, dark fairy tales. So yeah, I think we're all on the same page here. I think we're all like understanding each other, where it's like, if you only heard what she's talking about on paper, if you only read what she's talking about on paper, you would be like, oh, she has a Clefairy, she has a Jigglypuff, and stuff like that. But then when you see what she actually means, it's like, oh, it's the ogre Pokemon from Sword and Shield, and it's Grand Bull, and you know what I mean? Like, it's the fairy types that are like, are you sure? You know what I mean? So I think that's what we're getting at. I think we're all in agreement. So anyways, she has like status moves. I didn't get to see her full strategy. Like, I got to see Lieutenant Surge. If you guys know, some Pokemon can hear paper. That's probably true, actually. If you guys know what her like actual like ultimate strategy is, let me know. She's still like polite and stuff. I just think there's like an underlying thing going on. Oh, that's it. Chat, we did it. Woohoo! Oh no, we didn't do it. We're not done yet. The patrons have given us some images to work with. Okay, so these are our patron contributions. If you'd like to be a patron of our Patreon, by all means. I'm going to bring it up. So I actually can't see you for a moment, chat. Turbo Dog has been playing in Japanese. And they brought some like cool tidbits. Dratini's name is... So first of all, they're bragging that they got a Dratini. Must be nice. Okay. Dratini's Japanese name is Mini Ryu, which is dragon. Is it? Yeah, Mini Ryu. Yeah. It is. So it's just Mini Dragon. I think that's funny. Okay, cool. All right, there's the first image. Here's the next one. Turbo Dog pointed out that it's Kaiju Mania. So when we were playing in my playthrough, it's called Pokemaniac, right? But I was like, oh, all their Pokemon are Kaiju. I wonder if that's like the theme, like the actual theme. And then if you just play the Japanese version, yeah, that is what their name is, right? Okay. This is Kaze's photo of their... Oh, I'm so jealous. I mean, I have a Game Boy Micro. I don't know why I'm that jealous, but I love Game Boy Micros. They're playing on Game Boy Micro, and they soloed Erica with Vulpix, which I think is cool. I didn't solo any of the people in the gym, and I was underleveled with the exception of my Farfetch that went one level too high mid-battle. But it did take my entire team up until like the last little bit of HP to go through Erica's entire gym. But that's because I had like strong Pokemon against her Pokemon. Okay, next one. Oh, more Kaze photos. They are playing on, I assume they're GameCube. And it's a CRT. Something happened to Satsuki on top. They were pointing out that the Fame Checker, you can see full sprites of some of the trainers that you couldn't see in game. So there's Bill full sprite. That's so cool. I need to fill out my Fame Checker. And then also Daisy. We get to see Daisy for not the first time. We found out we're actually seeing Daisy before in Gen 1 art. But one of the first times we've seen Daisy, which is your rival's sister. Very cool. That's so cool. Also, just the CRT is awesome. Okay, next one. Another CRT photo. Just good art. Game Boy Advance Pokemon games are not built for the TV. They're not built to be smeared by a CRT, but they still work. They still work, like appealing wise. Like it still looks really good on a CRT, even if it wasn't necessarily meant for it. Okay, next one. I think this is Errol's team, right, Errol? You're in chat, right? Yes, Errol's team. This is what their team is so far. And hold on. I think, were you saying they were like mostly kaiju, or were you just talking about kaiju? You're also talking about the Pokemaniacs, or Kaiju Mania in Japanese. Yes, to differ from Bill. I'm reading Errol's points. A handful of the in-game trade names either use Japanese names as nicknames or combine Japanese and English names into one. Nidorina original name, or Myman, Mr. Mindpress Barian. Oh, you're right. Cool. Cool, that is very cool, actually. This is fun. I like this, chat. We should do this all the time. Let's never stop this book club. Oh, this is scrolling down. Daniel. I don't know if Daniel's here right now, but Daniel was just wanting to brag that I got Dratini. Flexing my Dratini that I got from gambling. Okay, all right. Must be nice. Okay. They wanted to point out the Lightning American part, which, I mean, is so cool. Yeah, I love, especially Gen 1. Gen 1 when they're really doubling down on that being the aspect of Pokemon. This is Shax's contributions. They just like the Pokedex entry of Vulpix. When it was born, it had just one snow white tail. Tail splits from its tip as it grows older, and they were talking about wanting to... Let's see if I can find their exact quote here. Nothing super major this week, aside from a couple Pokedex entries I thought were interesting. I love how... well, I'm skipping ahead because it's one we haven't got to yet. The Vulpix entry was also neat. I'd love to see Vulpix with snow white coloration. I agree. I think there was I think that was in the works at some point, I'll say. And this is the other one they showed. A carnivorous Pokemon that traps and eats bugs. It appears to use its root feet to replenish moisture. So they're pointing out that, like, oh, those are just normal bugs. It's like the implication there is just normal bugs, which I also think is cool. Like, not Pokemon bugs, like bugs. Okay, these ones are 2. So we found out on like one of the first streams that the text color in English is different between gender. And here, and this is also true for the narrator, the font, depending if it's a girl or a boy, the font slightly changes in Japanese. So, I mean, I don't know how to describe the fonts differently other than just show you them right here. But yeah, so depending if you're a girl or a boy, the font slightly changes. I think that's cool. So that Turbo Dog, who's playing in Japanese, pointed that out. Okay. Turbo Dog also pointed out that the gym guy is not allowed at the gym. I'm genuinely becoming one of my favorite characters, Gym Guy. Okay, let's go through. There's one more image, but I want to make sure I have people's things they pointed out. If I've missed something, put it in chat. I'll go through chat in a second. Couple more Kaze photos. Speculation that maybe Daisy has a different one of the starters. I have a feeling she's like stuck at the house though. It's like a homemaker or whatever, which is, a Japanese thing I'm not like stoked about, but 90s/2000s. I'm reading the Discord. I don't know. I didn't ask ahead of time, so I'm not going to say what their name is. Starts with S. I bet you I can say their username, because it's a username. It's not a real name. So SV Chatter says, I like the build-up of going to Lavender Town. The game trusts you to figure out where to go next. The gauntlet of Route 9, Rock Tunnel, and Route 10. When exiting Rock Tunnel to Route 10, a player might assume it's safe like Mountain Moon, but it's not. Also, when arriving to Lavender, oh yeah, there's people that like jump you right when you get out of the. You're like, I'm finally out of here, and people like jump you. That sucked. Also, when arriving to Lavender Town, is the first city in a while without a gym, which gives the player more to investigate. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I like that. Erica's in Celadon City. It almost feels like Lavender Town is the. I mean, I guess also Team Rocket Corner, right? It feels like those are like the equivalent of like wilderness, where you're like battling people, right? Because it's a city and there's not like grass around it, right? It almost feels like that's like that's slotted in. Do 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 do. Oh, a Turbo Dog also pointed out that Lieutenant Surge speaks English in the Japanese version. In katakana, but yeah, Lieutenant Surge speaks English. I think that's very cool. Do 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 do. Hold on. Oh, we got one more image. So I don't know if their name is public, so I'm not gonna say their name. They know who they are when they see this. Hold on, let me get this first. This is a gigantic photo. It's so big. There we go. This is their team. They just want to show their team. They're saying they're doing it kind of slow. And they just want to show their team. And there you go. Bigger money? Who is smaller money? Smeagol's a good name. Who's smaller money? Elijah Wood, I assume. And then we've got one more photo, chat. Hold on, I'm minimizing. I can see you guys again. I played my friend's Switch on a friend's TV, and even the sprites look great at that size. Yeah, they really do. 3 dogs and a mouse, and mostly kaiju, but not all. Everyone's getting their Jatinis for gambling. I'm not gonna get a Jatini. The in-game trade names are inspired by foreign language names. That's cool. Some of them. Maybe in Japanese they all are. The author of Team Rocket is canonically from Hollywood, too. I forgot all about that. But the anime doesn't exist, so we're not talking about that. Forgot they had footprints. Such a cool feature. Oh, the Bellsprout footprint? The little, like, twig-looking thing? Do you Ghastly? I don't have a Ghastly. We haven't gotten there yet. Interesting font. Same with the Rocket of Giovanni. Forgot the Rock Tunnel. Oh, the Rock Tunnel is so long. Oh my god, I wanted that to end. I think that's the point. It's supposed to, like, the NPCs are like, oh man, you got a long way to go. Like, that's the point. You're supposed to feel that way, which means I like it. I like feeling bad, right? I feel like in any other situation, be like, oh, bad game design. I'm like, no, they're conveying a feeling to you, and you're supposed to feel that way, right? Okay, last one. This is the finale. Turbo Dog made art. Red learns the dangers of a gambling addiction. Oh, and it has the Clefairy that fall down when you don't get like any like prize or whatever. The Clefairies on the end like fall down, like do like the anime thing. Good stuff. Good job, Turbo Dog. Yeah, that's some good stuff. So accurate, to be honest. I think so too. Cool. Well, that was a good meeting. That was a 2.5 hour meeting on top of the hour and a half the first one was. So that's like a 3-hour meeting. So next week, it'll be the same day. I don't know what time. These are getting out of hand. This is well, here, I'll just minimize this. Well, I should probably delete it. Not actually delete it. It's fine on my computer. It's just off the OBS. We're gonna have to figure out. This is like a practice round, right? I wasn't expecting to do a FireRed and LeafGreen playthrough. Book club. If Gen 1 showed up, we were planning to do a Gen 1 one. But this is like a practice round, right? Like, obviously we want to do... I want to do book clubs in the future. Not like immediately after. But yeah, we're learning. right? So, for instance, we're not going to have a book club meeting 2 days after the game releases, right? That's not happening. It'll be the week after, right? The weekend after. Um, so we're learning little bits here and there, but I'm starting to realize these are getting long, and I did not expect so much to happen between those 2 gyms. So much happened. We went through like 5 dungeons. Team Rocket's Game Corner, Rock Tunnel, Diglett's Cave, other ones. Do you know what I mean? Like, so much happened. I have 24 hours in the game. And not all of that's, like, yeah, I get distracted and talk to chat. But, like, not all of that's getting distracting and talking to chat. Like, a lot of that's because I'm staying under-leveled, right? Granted, I need to stay more under-leveled than I did last time. I was only 1 level under-leveled last time against Erica. And then, you combine that with it being, my Pokemon being super effective. I might as well not have been under-leveled, right? Granted, I barely came out alive, but that's because I went through the whole gym with 1 team, right? Yeah, but so much happened, and I have no idea how much is going to happen next time. Adusani and Pokemon Emerald, thanks for the follow, by the way. Sono Cheesecake, thanks for the follow. Welcome. Yeah, I have no idea what's gonna. The thing is, like, the point of treating it like it's new is I have no idea what's next. There's a chance we might have to do, like, next week. If it's a struggle next week, we'll go back to, like, well, no, because there's some people that aren't aware. They're not, like, watching this, right? So maybe we won't go to. We'll just have to struggle with 2 gym badges a week. I, like, vividly remember beating the game in, like, 2 sittings as a kid. So the fact that we're, like, struggling to do 2 gym badges, and I think it's because we're engaging in the game. I think it's because we're, like, being under-leveled, keeping pace, right? I think that's why. It's like, oh, we're really experiencing the game this time, as opposed to just leveling up our starter like 20 levels ahead, right? And plowing through, right? I think that's the key difference. We're like, oh, this game's long if you play it right. It's an interesting discussion, especially as someone who's never played these in their childhood. Join in. I would love to have your perspective. I mean, it's too late now. Join in next time. I would love to hear your perspective. Or, again, not to plug this, but we have a Patreon Discord and a thread. So I need to upload the videos as a VOD to YouTube. So lore_library. Just type in lore library and, like, Pokemon FireRed. You'll find it on YouTube. The VODs, you can leave comments in the VODs. So if you're not here for the meetings or the streams, you can leave comments in the VODs. Also, my Patreon Discord gets a dedicated thread, and they are allowed to add images. So all the images you just saw are from the patrons. That's the only difference. Also, they get all their things said. So, like, if I miss a comment in chat, you might not get your opinion seen. You have plenty of chances to get it seen. So, like, if you don't right away, I'm sure I'll see it eventually. Oh, I didn't read. Well, that's because I don't think I have any VODs up. I didn't read the comments in the VODs, but let me go to that anyways, just in case. I didn't get the VODs up because I was spending so much time getting this to happen. Oh, here we go. Here is some. One of my favorite additions is FireRed and LeafGreen. For the first and only time, this is from Kuro Blitz. Both Mankey and Jigglypuff are together on Route 3. And it's because Mankey's Vital Spirit ability negates Jigglypuff's Sing. Cool. And so I said, oh, that's fun. I'm using both Mankey and Jigglypuff, now Wigglytuff. So now in my mind, they're going to be friends, rivals, not just teammates. And that's from Yikes McGee. Cool. Okay, I'm glad I didn't forget to look at these. Another thing I noticed is how often the game tantalizes you with what's to come. This is from Yikes McGee. Walking into Pewter from the forest, you see a route you can't access yet. An NPC literally guides you right next to an inaccessible area where they charge you 50 Pokédollars entry. It says it's the coolest place. Oh, I love that. We talked about that on stream. Is that, like, I love that you had to pay to get into the Pewter City museum. That made it feel like it had weight to it, even though, like, 50 Pokédollars is nothing. You find a trainer with Clefairy right before entering Mount Moon. You can take a left turn and wind up next to Victory Road. You can get jumped by a rival. I feel like we're allowed to say that now. It's not subtle, but it's effective to keep me hooked. I wonder how much of this there is. Well, as we've talked about in this stream, there's a lot of it. And then Kaze's like, oh, fun stream. Thank you. I'm going to see if there's anything left on the original. I think we've... Oh, someone's behind, but we'll still read it. They said, regarding the bit about only defeating the top 8 gyms, I do think we may encounter one of the... Oh, no, that's one... Oh, no. No early spoilers. No, here it comes. Okay, so... thank you, chat. That was awesome. This is so fun. And I feel like we've discovered, like, legitimately discovered things every week. Like, things that are not... have never seen anyone talk about ever. Ever. Right? I did notice that when your Japanese friends were dropping in, you would sit on screen for like 15 minutes. But that's a... Just FYI, that's a typical taco stream. If you guys are new here, if they didn't show up or not, I will get distracted and talk about things regardless. In fact, you will come to see that as the draw of my streams, at least my opinion. Because then it feels like more like we're having a sleepover, right? Especially because like right now it's dark, it's 2 a.m. in the morning, right? Pokemon has to have suits like the kaiju suits. Oh yeah. Absolutely. I think that was my comment, but I was unaware of the exact rules. So my bad. Oh no, don't worry. You're fine. No one's ever in trouble. Like, we will all know when someone's in here trying to be mean, right? If like no one's doing it out of like malice, no one's ever in trouble. Mistakes happen. It also wasn't a meeting, so it's a little different. Yeah, and it'll happen all the time. And it'll be like, even in this meeting, we went on a sidetrack. We're talking about YouTube stuff. Yeah. So it'll happen. That's just who I am. Yeah. But anyways, this is a lot of fun. I love this. I want to do this all the time, but we can't because we got to keep it special. Maybe we can revisit this in the future. We will. The comment. We will. Yeah, as soon as this is done, we're going to go back to Pocopia for sure. Pocopia is going to be, I'm super far behind everybody because I've been doing this instead. Pocopia is going to be so much better now that we've played Gen 1. Or sorry, Kanto. I got to stop saying Gen 1 for FireRed and LeafGreen. It's basically the same thing. I think Pocopia is more taking from Let's Go of all games. Well, sort of. It's like the story of Gen 1 / FireRed and LeafGreen and then like the visuals of Let's Go. Good stuff. All right, I gotta go. I don't want to go. It's just so fun. But I gotta go. All right, everyone, thank you for coming. I'm gonna see if there's anyone worth rating. Give me a second. If there probably isn't. I think everyone's asleep. But let's see. Okay, you know what? Yeah, all right. I think we're good. Thank you all for coming. I'm going to go to bed immediately. I'll see you guys later. Bye, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye. Take care.